Kangi, kama kunangekuwa na majeshi, wacha nikuambie sasa. My connection is so deep. Kama kuna watu wangekuwa wamepata hizo pesa, niko sure kuna mtu angekuwa ameniambia. Niko very sure kuna mtu angekuwa ameniambia mahali. Sawa? Brian, kukaenda aje? Kuja hapa. Wacha tusikie mwenye alikuwa Russia. Na kwa comment section. Oya, panda hapa juu. Ndio huyu Mrussia. Niaje Mrussia? How do you say how are you in Russia? Sura kama karangoma haya. Anyway, military ni risk bro. Unazienda urisk. Shida ni urisk na ukose hado. Ama unajua mimi wacha nikwambie. One thing I don't trust Kenyans with money. Nani amekuwa kwa football? Nani amekuwa kwa football or anything that involves a third party? Pesa badala ya kufikia inafikia mtu mwenye anafaa kupatia alafu inaenda. Na hakuna kitu utadu. Okay? Hao jamani nimemrudisha Russia kwanza ajue salamu. In Russia mtu anasema je, nimemuuliza simple question, how do you say in Russia? Ukitaka kujua mtu muongo. Okay? Ukitaka kujua mtu muongo, hakunanga process ya tio nini. Muulize tu swali rahisi. Ni kama tu muulize wewe ulikuwa kwa Waluya ulikuwa huko wanasema aje habari, the simplest. Okay? Sasa ame Google huko. Mazeni nipandishe nikwambie kitu. Oyo ukipanda juu. Panda juu baba. Changamka. Nimeweka hapo staircase. Chap chap. Okay? So me I'm telling you, I don't believe there is that manpower. Sorry to say, but me I cannot take watu wenye watanirudisha nyuma, losses, niingize ni spend pesa. Okay? Ni spend pesa kwa watu wenye najua mkono hawawezi. We bro bana, sio hapo. Hapo zinanipima wewe. Freedom fighter, nimeona umetuma request. Ndio na join Fei. Hiyo ni Fei ama ndaitaje? Karibu. Okay? Nikuulize swali, nataka niwaulize swali wazee. I have the best fighters. I have the largest number of personnel. Will I risk bringing in an experienced fellas to fight my war? That means watakuwa wanaenda wanauawa, and that means as well Ukraine will be what? Will be advancing. Who takes that risk in war? Ipandishe tuongee. Haya, panda uongee. Who takes that risk? For me, it doesn't make any logical sense. Then also, kama kuna hii spending of 2 million per head, na hiyo ni upfront. Hello, Fei. Ni Fei ama ni Faye? Hello? Haya, ongea na sauti. Ongea na sauti tukusikia unasemaje?
Unasikia?
Nakusikia.
Waje.
Niko poa nashukuru.
Mimi niko poa.
Sema nakusikiza. Akwapo jamaa anasema anajaribu kupande na kata.
Make sure follow me.
Russia haja kutudanganya iko na personnel bana. Russia haina watu. Na watu tu injili tudogo. Hii map inatudanganya. Kuna kamzeka anauliza mbona unakuwa gafale hivyo. Realist panda juu niulize. Wewe si ni realist panda juu niulize swali. Moderators in block. Realist Zaki panda juu. Be realist ukuje upande juu. Thank you Stepper. Oya panda juu. Kama mimi unaogopa.
Make sure you follow me, subscribe to YouTube channel.
Kama mimi panda juu. Nimeinvite mzala jita realist anaogopa. Wewe panda juu. Okay.
Israel.
Fluffy. Ukiwaona wakimatch, the numbers are so much, unaona? Hata unashindwa kwani ama soja? Ama soja hata kama ni mshahara, hao watu wanalipwa do ngapi? The numbers are so large like ish. Yaani mpaka wana form kitu na chiki hii ni kali. But I think inakwanga tu for display. Because if you have those numbers, well-trained soldiers, why would you be sourcing ma watchman? Watu wa kukimbia, watu wana training, tunamuonyesha tu venye utashoot automatic rifle, alafu unamtuma frontline. Sio ni kwenda ku waste resources, wewe shoot tu. Ama wewe ukitrain mtu siku mbili anaenda kufanya, si anaenda tu kushoot. Kitu kingine gani anafanya? Hana tactics, hana knowledge, hiyo ndio anaenda kufanya. Waste marisasi na ukishutiwa waste bunduki na ujiwaste. Na bado nimekulipa mita 2 mbele. Alafu sasa unakuja ni kwa nini? Kuna bana. It doesn't make any logical sense. Sasa nasema nipande uulize. Panda juu. Panda juu siogope. Washington hizo makura zako peleka na huko. Tupeleka to forex fund. Aya, uliza swali.
Kaka nasikia ukiongelea kuhusu Russia mambo na vita hivi. Nilikuwa nataka kuuliza tu katika dhamira zako. Wewe unaona superior nini ya jeshi ni nini? Ni numbers ama ni nini?
Superior jeshi it has always been numbers. Always. Yes, without numbers hata kama uko na weapons gani you're going nowhere.
Hapo umenoa baba.
Niambie nikusikia. Nichangamshe.
Superiority ya jeshi ni machines zilizoko nazo. Na that's why ukiangalia ranking ya powers ya jeshi ya kila nchi huwa wanairank kulingana na zile equipment iko nazo. Number of tanks, number of maybe aircraft bombers, hizo artillery zote hizo. Unaona? Unaweza pata pengine inji ndogo hivi iko haina numbers ya wanajeshi wengi sana. But wako na equipment. Unaona? Hao watu power yao ya jeshi iko juu sana ukilinganisha pengine na ile inji ambayo recruit a large number ya personnel. Sio kama unanipata. So tena nimesikia kwamba pengine Russia ina recruit watu ambao wajielewa nini. Hapa vita haina mwenyewe. Vita unaweza mix na wale watu wanaojua na wale wasiojua na wakafanya jambo. Ama vipi?
Nani ameguza hapo?
Yes, vita kulingana mimi mwenyewe ninajua vita havina mwenyewe. That's why majorly ukiangalia in terms of ambush. Hii ambush hata kama umesomea tactics gani, huwezi hepa. Inalingana ni nani yako prepared kufire first or rather to attack. And that's why unaona kama sasa for example kuna hizi nchi zenye ziko na bandits, taja ni gani na gani. Unapata kwamba hizi nchi ziko na bandits wameua askari. Kwa hivyo unakuja huku kwamba hao askari wako well trained na yule bandit ni mtu ambaye ametoka kule mashinani tu ama ametrain kidogo tu kushoot nini vitu kama hivyo. But unakuja unakuta anaangamiza jeshi kubwa sana. Unaona? So vita inaenda ni nani alikuwa prepared. Inaendanga na preparedness. So vita havina mwenyewe.
Now, let me read for you the law.
Yes.
In military, the superiority is measured on the size, the manpower, size, training, and readiness of the armed forces. It is not the weaponry.
Serious?
I'm very serious. That is the first. Guess what? Why is why is Palestine not able to fight Israel? Is it the weapons or the manpower?
Weapons.
And do you know why it's the weapons?
And manpower. Weapons and manpower goes in parallel.
Listen, it is because of the weapons. And why weapons? Because they can't face them on the ground. They cannot face them on the ground. Hawa zingine nitawatoa. Bro, ukikama hapa kama tunaongea na msemo moja, please mute. Please mute. We cannot have all of us talking. Thank you. Unanisikia sini? So I was saying, we employ something called AI. But even AI, there has to be someone.
Yes.
Because you have to give instructions. You have to enter coordinates, especially where you want. So the first thing they did is to make sure these people do not have weapons. So they targeted the weapons. But inasemekana on the ground, Israelites are very cowards. Anyway, kama sahi, mimi ukiniuliza is usitaje hiyo jina hapa tena, nimekumbuka waliniambia watanibana. Hiyo country kwa ground.
Yes.
Ni waoga sana mpaka wanaua watoto na wanawake, which means hawana tactics za kuface wanaume wenzao. Because vita ikui kuingia kwa kijiji. Si ni kweli ndugu yangu?
Yes.
Vita ni strategy. Vita ni plan. Vita hata inakuanga na break. I don't know kama experience that. But vita ukuwa hata na break. Kuna time unasikia hii period tutulie kidogo, kuna vitu hivi. Na wanapatiana time. So, most of the time, kama una numbers za personnel, hizo weapons zitaparetiwa na nani? Before AI kuja to replace.
Let me correct you.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Vita see numbers, but in equipments. I'm telling you by experience. Na ni kitu maybe nimepitia ama napitia ama niko ndani sahihi. Most of the time, ukiona pengine jeshi ina confront the enemy, the first thing they have to learn, the type of the weapon they are using. And that's why to these small firearms, we have the rifles. The rifle starts with maybe the G3, the AK and above, Yeah. But hiyo wacha ikaa hivyo. But inatakana ulan kama sasa wewe ni personnel uko ndani ya vita, inatakana ulan huyu enemy anatumia weapon gani. Huwezi ingia vita na firearm yenye iko na criteria ya chini na ushinde. Ndio maana nakwambia jeshi la nchi linaamuliwa na silaha. And that's why katika hii category ya silaha imefumiwa kuna category ya mass destruction. Na yenye si ya mass destruction. And that's why most of the time maybe kama upande ya peacekeeping, the UN where he allow those officers when wanaenda ku peacekeep waende na hizi heavy machineries. Because they know what will happen there will be disastrous.
Changia.
Okay bro, mi naenda opposite na vile huyu jamaa amesema. Mimi naona ni personnel. Unajua kuna reserved personnel na active personnel kwa military. So ukiangalia kama top 4, number 1 ni United States, number 2 ni Russia, number 3 ni China, number 4 ni India. So ukiangalia USA, reserved personnel hata ni wengi kuliko active personnel. Hata ukiangalia ukijaribu Google pia. Ona nchi kama I think this top 10 military inaendanga na atomic bomb huwa inachangia na personnel active na non-active
reserved.
So mimi nakuongea na wewe ni kweli watu ndio wanamata, si weapons manze. I think that research afanye research.
Unaona nini bro mali unaongelea kuhusu kwamba ni weapon. Hizi country ambazo unakombea ni country ambazo zimesha develop, let's go on the same level ya weapon ownership, you know. Sasa kama ziko on the same level, ile criteria ambayo watatumia ni number of persons, you know. Like huwezi niambia wanajeshi wa hii nchi ambayo sasa tuko tutaki kutaja ni gani, hata kama ni milioni 8 unawakombea na wanajeshi wa nini na power ya jeshi kama la US, you know, hata kama ni wanajeshi wangapi, hata kama ni 1000.
Hata nikwambie kitu kingine ambacho numbers zina matter bro. Hiyo nchi ambayo hatutaki kuitaja hapa. Do you know ukimaliza high school lazima utrainiwe kama mwanajeshi?
Yes.
Do you know why?
In some countries.
Because those numbers matter bro. Those numbers they kitu ya kwanza, okay, mimi sijui ulisoma wapi lakini nasisemi masomo hii ya nje. Nasema ile masomo military. First thing tuliambiwa numbers is very important. Number 2 tuliambiwa technology superiority. Number 3 it was operational capability. Number 4 it was economic and industrial base, strategic power projection, morale, training. Kama venye sana nasema hapa KDF hawana hii morale. Training yetu pia iko backwards. Bunduki zetu ukiangalia pia ziko backwards. Training and doctrine ni kama venye sasa hiyo inchi. Unaona hawa wase wanaambiwa uko sawa, kama uko tu sawa watoto na uawa. Yes, niko sawa. Watoto na uawe. Kwa nini? Hawa watoto ni matero nini. Unawasikia venye wanaongea? I think umeona hizo vitu. Kwa sababu hiyo ni doctrine imewekwa. And that is how a soldier is supposed to be trained. Aamini kwamba kitu yenye anaambiwa na mkubwa wake, that is it. The chain of command has it and there is no questioning. Another thing is information and cyber dominance. Then the last thing is political and alliance strength. Hizo ni unasikianga AMISOM, UN, such. Why do they have to join up? Kama US inahitaji Kenyan soldiers waende Haiti kweli? Kama basi hizo weapons zinaweza fanya kazi, si hawa sio wafike hivyo wajue hii kikundi imejificha area fulani. Of course hakuna vita ina casualties, si ni kweli? Yes. So why don't they go with that eagle eye drones? Waangalia watu wako area, niko posa na chief wako area fulani and then boom bam. Kwa nini? Lazima kukuwe na boots on the ground. That is the basic. Bila boots kwa ground utagather aje intelligence? Uwezi gather intelligence kupitia tu tuseme kama drones hivi. Lazima kuwe kwa ground, lazima hata unaweza pata mtu alitumwa hapa a year ago. Ashajuana na watu, wameshikana, wanajuana vizuri, wanaelewana. Sasa yeye ndiye anakuwa akiwa feed na info. By the time na come, you have the roadmap. You get? Yes.
Kuna tunataka niongezee. Unaona nilikuwa nataka kuniambia jamaa hata angalia tu top 5 military powers kwa dunia. Ukiangalia population yao ni mingi. Si ndio? Si ni ukweli?
Yeah.
So hata hiyo tu inakwambia hiyo peke yake. Hata leave aside the weapon. Because tukienda side the weapon, unajua the Tsar bomber, the strongest nuclear weapon in the world, it was Tsar bomber. Inamilikiwa na Russia. Alafu kuna Saturn 2. Is it called Saturn 2 or what? Ya US. I think it's called that one. So mimi kile tunakwambia bro, personnel inamata sana. Na unajua kuna nchi yenye ziko fani sana kama USA na China. Ziko na more non-active personnel than active personnel. Imagine, you can imagine. Lakini hapa Kenya unapata active personnel ni wengi kuliko hata sidhani kama tuko na do you have reserved personnel in Kenya? Sidhani kama tuko na.
Imagine, can I tell you the funniest part?
Yes.
Tanzania na Uganda wako na reserve personnel. Sisi
kabisa.
Hata nisiongea hapa naweza finyo. Sisi ndio hao.
Hata tukienda vita na Uganda unaweza tuombea saba na juu ya hiyo story na lakini tunaweza kuwa na weapons poa, lakini tunaweza angusha jo kwa kitu mambo na personnel pia inaweza tuangusha sector na wewe ina matter sana.
Then unajua sisi huwa tuko inactive wars. Watu kidogo wanatumwa view wanarudi. Haya, changieni.
Unajua watchdog.
Yes sir.
Unaona ulikuwa unauliza mbona Africans wanaenda kupigania Russia. Ukiangalia unaona ukiweza kana Russia actually they prefer heri yao wakae chini. Nyinyi watu weusi mwenda mpigane on their behalf. So like they are deceiving the people. Nyinyi mnakuja mnatakwa kama slaves and then mnabuduke them mnapeleka mnabubanda mnaenda mnako huko you fight for them. Jumkana mtupuko unajua the Ukraine soldiers wanakaa nyinyi enemies. So hamna choice. So you have to fight for them.
I don't think so bro. I wish ungekuwa kwa Telegram yangu you see the kind of what tunaongea wakati tunazungumzia Russia na Ukraine. I wish ungeona. Hii si ya mafala. Hao watu badala watume watu especially the Ukraine side. Badala watume watu wana prefer watume drones. Unaget? Na hizi drones unapata zina target precisely. Hata kifaru kama imeko kwa kichaka, zinaingia kwa hiyo kichaka, zinalipua hiyo nini. So alafu vita kama hii ni country against a country. This means your borders are in danger. This is not where you take risks. You cannot afford to take risks like let these black people fight for us. Never. In fact, if those black people will fight for you, they will be your backup. They will not be your front line. Because when we talk of frontline military, acha niweke kama hivi. Hapa kuna Russia, alafu hapa kuna Ukraine. So Ukraine, they are trying to advance. Because the more they advance into the country, the more devastating it becomes for Russia. And the more Russia advances towards Ukraine, the more problems are there. So you don't want to take risk with frontline. You can take a little bit of risk by making sure that you have introduce you have your fighters in place, then introduce the watu waone venye vita inaenda na venye wanafaa kupigana. Unaget? But ukipata to the extent that wase wamekuwa frontline wakakimbia wakaenda wakasurrender, it means there is no one else here. Wanatupwa tu nyinyi endeni, si umeshika bunduki unashoot huko, usishoot huko, wewe shoot huko ukienda. That is very dangerous for a country.
Then what kidogo najua the soldiers Russia wanacheza ni wengi, sisi sio vile yanza.
Exactly, ndio nakwambia namba zao ziko chini. Huwezi kuwa natudanganya. Huwezi kudanganya they have these numbers. Yes sir.
Kuna swali nataka nikuulize. Mimi niko na jibu yangu lakini nataka jibu yako. Kuna sijui kama unajua area 51.
Yes, nimesikia.
So nikuulize, mbona USA ndio iko na the strongest weapons in the world? Mshajiuliza swali, mbona hao ndio kwa advanced? Hata kuna weapons zingine hatujui. Kama sijui kama unajua B2 bomba.
Yeah, najua.
Yenye iliharibu hiyo nuclear site ya Iran.
Yeah, najua.
So nikuulize, mbona USA ndio iko na strongest weapon in the world? Reason ni gani? Nataka nisikie jibu yako ndio mimi nikwambie yangu sasa.
Reason as to why they have you are speaking in terms of advancement in technology, right?
Yeah, weapon, all that stuff. Yani hao ndo juu ndo kuna ilifanya hii tank Abrams, the Abrams tank. I think it's the strongest tank.
Yes.
Abrams tank.
Yes, though vitu zingine bro kwa war is not even having the serious weapons. It's also selling propaganda. Nafaa kujua hivyo. Vita pia inapigana na propaganda. Ukiwa na propaganda mzuri, watu waingie maji. Psychologically umewashinda hata before step on the ground. That is number one. Number two, I hear that the source, unaona kama okay, I hear the source, these are young, intelligent, very innovative people. They support them financially and they do this work for them. And most of these inventions in America is not done by Americans. They are very lazy. It is done by these people who come through. You get? Because they will get free education, good money, and employment. So I think that is one of the reasons I would argue that way. Maybe you have more.
Okay. My reason is, sijui kama umecheki documentary kwa Netflix inaitwa UFOs. This
the aliens.
Yeah, aliens. Hiyo documentary aliens.
Extraterrestrial beings.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard of it.
You know sightings za aliens zimepatikana Russia. Kuna nyepe imepatikana USA. Kuna watu wameona, sasa sijui kama ni ukweli. Kuna sightings tu wame-explain ati ilipatikana mwaka fulani, kitu fulani ikafanyika. So mimi Kenya nasema iko hivyo Area 51. Mbona Area 51 iko USA? It's because aliens wamekuja hapo because hiyo ndio superpower ya dunia. So wanataka kuona humans advancement yao iko aje. Unaona? That's why unaona wako na hii tu bomb, wako na vitu zingine. Hiyo sio wako na weapons zingine kali bro. Hata ukicompare na nchi zingine wako juu bro. Hiyo hatuwezi kata. Hiyo akili wametoa hapo kwa aliens. Mbona Area 51 iko protected? Julius. Mimi na believe aliens wako. Na hiyo education wanatoa kwa aliens.
Mimi na believe wako lakini sina proof.
Acha nikuulize basi kama waamini Kenya nasema, mbona basi Area 51 aliens tu wako USA? Just Area 51 Kenya, just Nigeria. Kwa nini tu USA tu hapo? Hii place iko protected sana.
Kwa nini aliens haziwezi kuja huku? Ama zinafungiwa na watu wa US?
Sisi tunapawa, sisi.
Bro, sasa zingine pia naangalia. Nisamee, lakini sasa zingine pia naona hizi aliens. Kwa nini hizi kuja hata Kenya?
Unaona Caleb. Acha nikwambie kitu kwanza kabla tuongee. Unafaa ujue aliens wako light years ahead of us kwa technology. Si umeona makatuni hizi. Umeona aliens Kenya wanapitia that thing yenye inazunguka. Madirisha zinazunguka, so umecheki hiyo. Inaitwaje hiyo kitu? Spaceship. Hiyo kitu haiwezi kuwa ni uongo. Lazima iko tu, lazima iko. Mbona imetokea kwa makatuni? Imetajwa kila mahali. So mimi nakwambia aliens hawezi kuja Afrika, wakuja kutafuta nini? Sisi tuko na nini? Wanaenda kwa superpower.
Anyway, siwezi argue sana, lakini niko na maswali mingi sana kuliko majibu ndio.
Unaweza niuliza.
Okay.
Mimi nimefanya research. Mimi researcher. Mimi sasa niko US na so niko hii University of Carolina. Mimi nafanya research hizi vitu, kusoma mavitabu. Okay, mimi ni msomi unaona. Na believe hizi vitu ziko. Kama wewe tu watu unajua Kenya ni coloniziwa. Ulikuwa hai hiyo siku Kenya ikoloniziwa huko. Ni kitu iko ni kweli. Nimeona imeandikwa.
Hata kukaa kwa na demba. Kukangu kwa na demba.
Tunacheki. So vitu zingine
alikuwa anakuja hapa kichaka yake hata. Kukangu alikuwa joka.
Lakini na make sense. Hiyo story ya mambo yangu. Nimekuwa nikitaka sana nipande juu niongee hii kitu juu.
Ongea kutoke.
Sasa ni hivyo, mimi nakushow. Aliens wako na kitu wana control dunia na hao watu wana exist bro. Tunaweza kosa kuwaona lakini kuna watu ambao waona. Mbona hiyo F21?
Meki tunajua aliens zenye najua zina exist ni kwa maji. Easy oceans. I believe there are things that exist that we don't know. or we have never come across. Lakini hizi zina fly huko sijui na madisk na manini. Man. Ni sawa tu.
Sasa tukisema kama okay, mimi kuna story babangu alinishow. Sijui kama ni ukweli. Unaona kwa ocean. Ukiteremka kwa ocean huko chini huko. Sikia story ya submarine yenye ilipasuka huko. Inaitwaje? Si kuna majamaa walikuwa wanataka kwenda Titanic.
Make sure you like.
Mbona tu kuna place ukifika huko chini hata kama ni mwili ya mtu inapasuka ama ni kitu inapasuka, ni kama God alificha kuna secrets zenye mtu akifika huko chini survive na atoke tena anarudi kama ako young, yani nini, yani ako sawa. That's why hiyo kitu imekataliwa. Yani mtu akifika huko, kuna place ikifika juu, kuna wanyama wanaishi huko chini, hata kuna masamaki huko down huko. Mbona tu binadamu hatuwezi fika, hata vitu haziwezi fika, lakini kuna samaki zinaishi huko down.
Hiyo ni science bro, inaenda na pressure pia.
Absolutely zinafika huko. Inaenda na pressure, hata si pia ni beings tuliumbwa na Mungu hata hizo samaki ziliumbwa na Mungu. Sasa hata science ni nini? Science explain anything. Because hata wanyama sio na damu kama sisi. Wako na uhai kama sisi. So kuna vitu zimefichwa. Sijui kama umesikia pia historia ya Tutochnog. Kuna ndege fulani ilienda ikapotea. Ulisikia ikapotea after 50 years.
Yeah.
Na tena wajamaa walisema ati hawajui kenyeji hapo. Ati hao kujua kenye ilikuwa ina happen huko walipotea. Na walikaa 35 years bila kurudi.
Niaje Tutochnog?
Niko poa.
Hebu tu ni simple. Nataka tu ni correct kitu moja. Kitu tunalana hapa na hii vita inaendelea na Russia na Ukraine. Sisi Kenyans ni the use of drone technology. Exactly. Fuck vibaya sana because tuko nyuma sana sisi Kenyans because eventually tuko fucked up because hakuna country inaweza kusave. Na usisahau drone technology ni cheap. Kitu nimelan kutoka kwa vita ya Russia na Ukraine. Kuna two method of drone technology. Kuna optic na wifi. Hiyo optic ni hard sana counter. Basi kuja kudanganya unaweza counter optic. Kama kwanza hauko capability ya kukata hiyo kamba. Lakini ya wifi unaweza. Hiyo ndio unakuta unaona juzi Ruto convoy yake ikikuanga ikipita sasa think ilikuwa Thika Road ama ilikuwa ni Mombasa Road. Kuna hiyo gari inapita barabara ikikugana hiyo cable hiyo zidio ana ujinga. Lakini hauwezi counter ya optic. Sijui kama unaweza, lakini me personally speaking na hiyo vitu inaendelea Russia hauwezi counter. Na ndio unaona kwa hiyo page yake ya Telegram nimeona 80% ya casualty ya Russia wana go through na optic. Yeah. Wanapigwa na optic. Inawalima vibaya sana. Lakini wifi wanaicounter. Wifi na hizi zingine wanacounter. Hiyo ndio yangu tu. Thank you.
Asante. Wewe ni msao Telegram, niko sure ameona hizo vitu naongea. Watu wana dedi by the way, si jokes. Watu wana karangwa live. Kama upendi kuona manyama za watu, hiyo Telegram usiingie. Yes, Mash.
Unajua hapo kwa nini Area 51 as kubaliana, not because I don't know if they exist, but pia mimi najiulizanga ni nini wanaficha, na ni hundreds of acres wanaficha nini huko, hawataki dunia mzima ijue. Unaona? Na UFO, yeah, it maybe existed because okay, in the short kama jaba, but mimi niliambiwa mwana certain guy something kituka UFOs long time ago ili pass around Kenya, but only kitambo, but sayo zisema ati it passes na sijui, so it may be true, but pia yeah, mimi naweza tu na agree na hapo. Ina make sense tu. Nini nuko na feature?
Kama hizi alien advanced zinaweza shikwa. If they are light years advanced, can they be captured? Yes.
Nikiongezea. Unajua kwanza ama jamaa aliens. Kitu kwanza nimesema hapo ati na kwa advice pia wewe watch pia. Hizo vitu ni real because kuna watu baba wameexplain. Ni kitu imerekodiwa miaka mingi, watu explain ilitokea place fulani. Hadi kuna nyesha ilitokea USA mara 3, ingine katokea Russia. Yaani
wacha tuite huyu mwenye atuambie kama kuna aliens huko. Well, Eli, hebu kwenda hapa juu. Kindly come up. We are asking this question of aliens.
Yes. Na kuna huyu YouTuber anaitwa The Beast, Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I know him.
Si hata kuna drone, alituma drone ndio ikaonyesha watu warefu bana, watu aliens tu vile wanakanga watu. Yaani vile kaanga hizo vichwa zao nini, watu warefu lakini walipatikana ni kama waligundulika wakaepa. Hiyo iko YouTube hiyo video actually.
Sasa advanced technology light years alafu wanaepa nini? Si wa disappear tu sure.
Si ati waliepa drones. Restrict. Yeso wamechunga iko restricted area. So vile walijua wamejulikana wakatoa hiyo ndani, wakatoa hiyo drones zao. Kana.
Hello?
So kitu mimi na believe ziko aliens. Na mimi naweza kuonyesha wao. Area 51 ndani mtu aliingia. Hiyo place iko restricted sana. Bro, iko restricted for many years. Nini wanaficha hapo?
Hata nilete Dennis Itumbi labda anajua anaweza tuambia. Umza wa one time. Hello? Dennis Itumbi, how are you? Unaweza nitumia za macho hapa brother mazee. Wewe uko job But they are being wasted by Dennis Itumbi. Hello, mbona unajiita one time?
Kidogo tu tarudi.
Sawa.
Kidogo tu nakuja niwaeleze.
Okay. Atakuja tueleze.
Truth.
Yes sir.
Usikasahau kuna watu kuna ushaisikia the reptilians.
Nimesikia hizo stories zote, hata hizo video nimewatch.
Yaani okay ni yeah. Caleb kuna wasi live alone even aliens. You are living with people hata maybe see human beings. Now mimi I don't want to say people.
Na mbona sisi wenyewe tuko na tabia za reptile hata kuliko za reptilians?
Wewe najua hiyo story, reptilians najua wana exist.
Mbona tuko na tabia mbaya kuliko za reptilians?
Na ucho kwanza kuna secret party, unajua secret party rich people wanapata nanga. USA unajua hiyo. Kuna pesa
maneno wanakula watu.
Wanakula wasee nini?
Ni afu iko na kiol, si ndio?
Iko na kiol kisanamu hivi kubwa. Kwa dunia bro,
that explains truth.
Dunia ni mbaya tu.
Nani 3 presidents?
Nilikuwa nataka kuuliza Dennis Itumbi kitu. Nataka kuuliza Dennis Itumbi kitu wase. Acha nimuulize. Shukeni hapo. Dennis Itumbi, please come up sir. I have a very valid question. Very very valid question. Nimeangusha watu wengine kwa heshima yako. Nataka nikuulize mkubwa. Tafadhali. Dennis Itumbi, karibu. Thank you. Wewe msiletezo maujinga za one time hapa, ndako block. Hello sir.
Yes ndugu.
Ni aje? Niko na issue moja. Sijui kama wewe you are aware of it. About this registration, yeah, vote registration.
Yes.
Is it a propaganda or there is iris scanning?
Iris scanning?
Yes.
I don't know, you know, IBC operates independently, but I would doubt when I was registering as a voter myself, it was just, and I'm sure it would be standard for everyone, it was just biometrics.
Okay, because, yeah, biometrics, because I understand, okay, I have seen in UK, is it in UK and Vietnam? I think you should also check out 83 million accounts in Vietnam were shut or were frozen so that citizens are forced to have digital IDs, okay? And again, in UK, I think you're already aware there is something going on. People are being forced to also have the digital IDs and they are trying to retaliate. They are being closed into their houses. And then here comes the iris thing in Kenya.
No, Kenya tried to do a smart ID. What we have now is what you call Maisha card, which was supposed to be so that by the time you turn, kuna story I don't understand why. I mean, when you're 18 years, it's government which should be looking for you to give you an ID, not you looking for government.
Exactly.
So, I mean, even your passport, you should be able just to get it on your, you know, on your mail. I mean, it should not be something that stresses you to look for. It should be documents you get. But in terms of registration of voter, why it's important for you, even if you hold an ID, to go register, is because then you need to express willingness to vote, because voting is not compulsory.
Yeah.
It's optional, is for you to decide. And I don't think it is linked to, I wouldn't know because I don't work for IBC, but I mean, it's something they would have announced, and you're being told to go to the constituency office. Iris scanning? Apana. In fact, the law allows you to vote. If you go for biometrics, which we have to vote, and the biometric machine fails, the law allows you to vote manually. So basically, iris will be taking it too far. I mean, we should first of all even get that biometric right. In the last elections, we did well. We did almost, I think, 85% complete biometric. Because, of course, kuna wase biometrics hours isomi, kwa hiyo scanner, maybe umeamka kuna baridi, or maybe ulikatwa au ulijikata, so your biometric doesn't read. Very few people. I think last election was about, I need to recheck the statistics, but it was less than 100 people. Either you're too old, your biometrics is not reading on the scanner. There are several reasons, and also there are people who are born, your prints can't read. So you're allowed to use your ID on the agents, all the agents. So okay, the election, if there is party X, A, and Z, all the agents must sign for you to go manual. So it's not something that you can do in big numbers. It has to be digital. That's why the idea that people can still vote is no, it's not in Kenya. Kenya, by the way, even the US is Kenyan election bit has gone too high to go lower.
Yeah. Yeah, so Kenyans are worried about this thing. I don't know whether it is just propaganda being cooked, because I was reached out.
Tomorrow I'll work here at such a time to confirm to you. I'll check.
I will really appreciate, sir.
No problem at all.
Alafu si unitafutie kazi, mimi ni driver. Niko na driving license iko ready. Niko na kazi mkubwa. Unajua hii kazi ya kufanya TikTok atulipwe hapa. Hata kidogo nikwambia ununue maziwa nikakumbuka mtu ambangi tajiri kazi. Pesa anaombanga kazi. Niko na DL. He is updated. I'm a very good driver. Nilibeba Murkomen miezi 2 akanivuta. My girlfriend alikuwa ameanza kuniangalia kwa makoti zangu, najua ni kachonga.
I had no promises, but I
Okay. Thank you for the money, Ganaya. Thank you so much. Guys, this is really Tumbi, by the way. I'm not joking. Sasa mjua nimeanza kuwa na heshima ndogo hapa. Nimeanza kusalamiwa na wakubwa, so please. Kuna mtu amenizoea. Yes?
watu hapo wanauliza whether the voter registration data is shared with any other government system. First, I know that it is not shared with any other government. The voter registration data is shared with political parties. It's shared with political parties because the law says so. That parties apply, and that should be about a few months. I need to check the law of elections, but a few months, a political party is allowed to apply for data, and is given the data. But of course, the data is not complete data of registration. So some bits of the data are not shared because of data protection. But political parties by law are allowed to access voter registration data so that they can be able to do nominations with the registered voters and that kind of thing. But it's not shared for any other reason. So yes, it is shared that way. Worldcoin, mimi niko hapo kwa hiyo Worldcoin, lakini manze sasa tulipigana hiyo vita. We sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's one of the wars that I lost. But I have not given up. Mimi nitaifungua hiyo kitu tena siku nyingine very soon.
Alafu Itumbi, wacha nikwambie. Talking of Mr. Itumbi. Bro, mimi nataka unisaidie tu vitu mbili. There was a case on YouTube. Actually, they have pulled down 3 of my YouTube channels. Now, the last one, it was a cry. There was a child who was a SA, you understand? And then I took an image and I asked people, please repost this so that we can get this to the government. And that is Kenyan government and the US-based government or the embassy, so that this child can get at least a chance to be saved or helped. Do you know YouTube pulled down my video because they said it's child USA? I reapplied, they refused.
It's a thin line between, there's very high cases. If you just look at, I'll send you the site that tracks child trafficking and child molestation, anything children.
Yeah.
So there's a very thin line because of the way YouTube, you know, now YouTube, at least now I've seen they've started integrating AI, so those kind of things are going to be easy to identify. But before that rolls out completely, it's completely difficult for YouTube to differentiate. That is why even when you see chicks dance when they are showing their backsides, they are banned their accounts when it's actually an innocent dance. Yeah. So there are several things that makes you get banned on YouTube that are not necessarily because you got it wrong, but because the way YouTube is set up, it flags it up. So we have engaged with them at least 14 of those things from 2023. Out of the 14, they, you know, like for instance, when you're milking a cow.
Yeah.
The people who are posting out to milk a cow, their accounts are getting banned because they didn't understand that's not molestation of the animal. It is actually something we do to achieve the milk that makes tea. So out of the 14 violations, we have remained with now we have 8 remaining. We managed to remove 7 and make them normal. So it's a continuous discussion with YouTube for them to understand some of these things. So I understand what you're saying, but unfortunately, for now, your YouTube will continue being flagged because it is a continuous training.
Okay, then another problem that we also have is TikTok is not paying.
Yesterday, I had a TikTok creators forum, and TikTok senior people were there, and I told them as much. I told them that what they are calling monetization in Kenya is not full monetization.
Exactly.
Especially the creators, what do they call it? It's more the creators room has not been activated in Kenya, which is the biggest monetization by TikTok.
Yes.
Direct money. So that's a conversation I will have. We had this war with Facebook for 2 years until they did it. That's Facebook and Instagram. We are going to pull this with TikTok. I will put my firm foot and best foot forward to ensure that we go about it. There's someone asking about Gen Z Hospital. I fully support. Listen, tumechanga sadaka, tumejenga hospitali through mission hospitals, faith-based hospitals. So we've done it before as Kenyans. Through churches, we have contributed to health centers, hospitals. President William Ruto is now building another 70 hospitals across Kenya, some through KDF, some through direct ministerial appropriations. So I mean, an extra hospital, why would I be opposed? In fact, when the fundraising starts, I'll be among the people who fundraise. It's a brilliant, genius idea. I will contribute. Of course, I would, after the contribution that we have built, I would also be in the conversations on how we sustain the hospital. But for now, the issue is build the hospital. I am there. I fully support completely, 100%.
Yeah, good. Alafu si utusaidie kusource fund. Another thing, sir. Where do you place us? Actually, web designers, app designers, and creators. Because I really think the next millionaire should be able to have things done in the application, because we are moving the AI thing, and either we jump on the wagon or we are left behind. And some of us, we have the knowledge, and the resources is the problem. And also the registration of this app, mtu nazungushwa. How are we going to be helped with this? Because we're kwa IT, and I understand you understand these things. We have apps like right now I'm speaking to you. I have an app that is working, but now integrating it to the Kenyan system. Maze, mbona tukamua mpaka mtu anaisha bana. Mimi hata ni ng'ombe ina maziwa.
What do you mean integrating to the Kenyan system?
Like for now, right now as I'm speaking to you, you can check on your iOS or Android. We have already, it's running an app called Paksafi. Now, what Paksafi does is, for example, I assume Mr. Itumbi is coming from Nairobi to Kakamega and is on his way to Nakuru. And realizes by the time I'm getting to, say, Mumias, I should be having my parking reserved for me. So anywhere, or you want to know where your what do you call this petrol station is. The petrol station is already there waiting for you. So you just check, and then you can also pay before you reach there, and then your space is stored or saved for you. It's reserved for you. But now getting this thing out there, hey, tunakula ngumu kuinje mkubwa, kisikia tunaomba kazi si eti ni akili hakuna. Iko lakini tunahitaji somewhere to start.
Yeah, so now apps, just like good music, you have to market. And now that's up to people picking it up. You can have a brilliant idea from where you sit. You have also to sell to the people to look at it as brilliant and accept and start using it. Nothing tells you to open TikTok. It's just that TikTok has placed it as a must-have thing for you to be able to interact and have conversation. That's the same way with apps. You must be able to do an app that no one tells you get into M-Pesa, but because you need to send money and receive money, you get into M-Pesa. So I would say it is not quite the system that frustrates, is that you have to sell your idea once you come up with it. It's an unfortunate bit of business. Hata mimi nimeanza app nyingi zingine, they have completely failed because now moving them, like you see, one of the biggest things I have with Uber drivers in Kenya is that they say Uber is harassing them in terms of the money they get. They even had a big demonstrations at one time. But I kept telling them, okay, why don't you start a Kenyan app for taxis? Because you see, like India, you won't get Uber because the taxi drivers combined and came up with an Uber-like app that they use. So it is up to them to develop and sell, just like good music. You remember, I don't know whether you know about Kibaki's campaign, but when Kibaki was doing his campaign, they had a song called Unbogable.
Yes, I know.
And Bogabo was not Kibaki who started the song. It is the musicians, Akina Gidi, who started the song. They sold it. Raia accepted, then Kibaki adopted the song. Kenyatta and Ruto during their campaign had kutoka digital and kutoka analog and digital. Again, people, you sell it to the people, they adopt it, it's taken. So it's a continuous thing. Just like good music, good apps, you have to sell, put a marketing force on it, put a good comms plan, and then let people adopt it, and it will sell. It's not a frustration of the system. The system allows you to do anything you can with those apps.
Now the problem, unaona hapo kwa marketing, because marketing an app, it needs you to be vigorous. It needs you to get people out there to talk about it. Sasa hapo sasa ndio kuna financial constraints, because ukifanya tu app tuseme in 1 year hivi unahitaji kama mita moja to make sure you are pushing your app. In the next 3 years, you're supposed to have at least invested your 9M in your app in order for it to, peak like completely. Now it can run on its own. It can pay for the Google space, for the cloud space, all of those things, because you have to pay. So hapa kwa hii muscle, hakuna venye tunaweza pata, unaweza tusaidia kama mimi personally. Hakuna venye unaweza nisaidia nipate hawa kama ni investors, ama uko investor number 1.
So kuna bill tunapitisha inaitwa Creative Economy Support Bill. Iko bunge, I think now second reading, yeah? It's going to have a very serious fund for ideas. Serious, there's some countries that I think it's India has a ministry of ideas. So what I'm trying to create in my space is a space for ideas, government ideas, where you can put a sandbox of ideas and then connect it to this creative economy fund that's being formed by this bill when it becomes law. Should be law by the end of the year. Then you connect it with this, then you have a place where you can tap money for your ideas. However, those ideas lazima tukubaliane must go through a process. Because if we say all ideas are funded, then there will also be a problem. Many people who have great ideas will not be funded because you're trying to balance everyone's idea. Because not every idea that is great, that is workable.
True.
That's why you need a samples, so that those ideas are tested. Then we see the ideas which pass the test are the ones that get the fund. Yeah. That's what they do at Silicon Valley. A lot of stuff is produced, but very few people of them get funded. Yeah.
Okay. Alafu sasa hii ni kibro, sasa si kiofisi. Kibro.
Yes.
We, hii kitu ya madem kudungwa sijui miaka 10 hizo vitu. Brother, hiyo kitu huwezi pitisha chini ufinye president umwambie ambie mtu atoe hizo vitu huko.
Nini hizo?
Haujasikia hizo pregnancies sijui ni 10 years.
Ati pregnancies in 10 years.
Pregnancy prevention, kuna kitu imekuwa announced. Pregnancy prevention itakuwa introduced na inakam January. Na madem ndio wanataka
students.
Not students. Ni itakuwa rolled out.
Hapana.
Haujasikia?
Government can't do anything like that.
Imagine wali announce kwa TV, sikudanganyi?
Sasa TV gani lakini kwa nini una watch TV gani?
Sina watching ma TV zote tujue ukweli kwa wapi na uongo. Tuna watching ma TV zote, but I'm serious.
Such a policy ningesikia.
Cheki Bill Gates amekaa Sikuchochi.
Alikuja kampanya.
Hiyo kitu on a serious note bro. Inaroliwa out. Wallahi it was announced at the madem kuna hii sindano ni kama needle wanadungwa ya 10 years. So ukishadungwa hivyo 10 years wewe huwezi get ball.
Contraceptive.
Wallahi usikudanganyi mbele ya Mungu.
So it's optional, si ati ni compulsory.
Wanasema wana introduce, una get. Unajua ukisema wana introduce.
Nani wanasema?
Si hata WHO imesema hiki kitu bro. Kwani uko wapi?
Inaweza kuwa kuna hiyo contraceptive, that's possible, that can help you not give birth for 10 years, lakini it's not government policy.
Lakini mbona wasijali? Okay, Dennis Itumbi, wacha nikuulize tu swali rahisi. Wewe ukiinvent for example an app, wacha tuongee lugha ya app. Una invent an app itasaidia Kenya. Thank you. Sasa hao watu juu wako na hiyo contraceptive. Ukiangalia population ya Kenya, hao watu wako 50 million more.
Nani hao?
Amero. Mbona wasi control hiyo yao? Yetu ndio inafaa controliwa.
What I'm trying to get from you, and that's my issue now. Hiyo kitu unasema lakini surely.
What is it? Okay, it was announced, yeah? Kwanza kulikuwa na there were two announcements. The first one was kuna injection ya watu ya ku prevent HIV and AIDS around 6 months, so unapata 2 doses. That is one. Number 2,
unapata 2 doses per year.
Yes.
Now nimeona kuna ingine who has come up with this thing for, I think there's something now they're injecting and it's removing the HIV virus completely. Inatoa now you cannot be infected again. So I think it's been announced today. So yes, there's some good progress in terms of HIV treatment.
Atukiwa na HIV and AIDS hiyo kitu inatoa, you will never be infected.
First of all, you get healed of HIV and then it protects you from contracting it again. I've seen it announced somewhere today.
Okay, so it was announced like that, but this one was even campaigned for, not like the government way you get, not like the government campaigns, but it was campaigned for 10 years. And you were like, hey, my friend, so between HIV and AIDS, which one should be more dangerous? Where should we put our focus? You know?
Now, these are the researchers for, you're talking about you're saying this is a family planning drug that has been unveiled to prevent pregnancies for 10 years.
And it is being, the problem now even more for me is it's being tested. It is being tested in Kenya. Actually, it's 3 countries. They said Kenya, Nigeria. I don't remember the third one. Was it Kenya, Nigeria, and what? The two.
Kenya has been a good place to test a lot of drugs. I mean, even HIV, the first interventions for ARVs were tested here.
Bro, why don't they? Mbona wasianze huko si tuletewe complete thing?
it was done by Kenyans initially. Even the ARVs treatment started from Kenya. So Kenya has also played a part in terms of developing medicine for HIV/AIDS. What I'm checking right now is this thing of yours, family planning. I want to understand. Maybe I'm the one who doesn't know it's possible.
Geoffrey Moziria, waziri wa mazingira, karibu. Geoffrey Moziria anafanya kazi mzuri, by the way. Mr. Itumbi, you should promote this guy. Uliona aliokolea warasta wawili nikiona walai.
He's my guy huyo jamaa.
Alafu hata hizi comment kwa video yangu. Geoffrey Moziria, mbona uko na roho chafu hivi? Nikufanyia video hizi comment. Sawa tu.
Pengine hakuona. Unapea hizi vitu zingine mtu miss.
Moziria hizi kosa kuona video yangu na ni fan wangu. Unaona amehepa.
Sima mlima sana hadi akahepa. Tumesema family planning takes what, how many years?
10 years. Alafu Itumbi unisaidie na kompyuta bana. Itumbi unaweza kwanza kunisaidia kompyuta. Nahitaji kompyuta.
Kompyuta kama uchague ni gani hii nitakupa. Sasa shida ni nikipatia kompyuta alafu niambie unataka.
Siwezi chagua. Sawa tu unachagua.
Utanipatia message inbox and make sure unapata kompyuta by end of within the next 48 hours.
Mungu ulimleta huyu. Mungu wa majeshi. Mungu wa vita ya Uganda. Thank you. I appreciate.
Sasa niwekee namba hapo ndio sasa usikuja hapo useme ati nilipromise na sikufanya.
Dennis, ndio hii namba. Usiruke ndugu yangu. Kaka, naomba usinitoke kama Morgan. 10 years pregnancy. Prevention. Ndio hii hapa. But I think mko busy sana maybe. You're not seeing these things. Name of the 10 years pregnancy prevention to be introduced. Alafu kitu kingine pia nilikuwa nikuulize ya uzushi. Kuna hawa wase wanakam kuinject watoi. Saa zingine inakuwa announced somehow. Alafu wanaficha number plates. Unaona kama hiyo gari inawabeba. Wanaficha number plates. Ilibidi tumepigeza number plate tukaonyesha watu.
So the issue of vaccinations, official vaccinations by government, over the years, from in the 70s, there has always been propaganda around it.
Because, you know, for me, hii ndio nilifanya nikashuku nikawauliza, guys, you've been sent by the government. Why are you hiding the number plate? What is wrong with the number plate? Like they had covered it. I even have the video on this platform.
Well, that's wrong. No one from government should be able to introduce themselves properly, say who they are, even give their ID, their job IDs. Covering is suspicious and not acceptable.
Yeah, we it made us make a video about it because we are like, if it is genuine, why are you hiding?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, 100%.
Oh, ndio hii. Kenya is set to introduce new hormonal intrauterine device, HIUD, a long-acting contraceptive as part of expanded family planning efforts following a pilot program launched in August 2025.
Now you see, that one is optional. So the fact that there is a family planning thing being introduced does not mean that everybody must get it. My brother.
Siwafanyia huko bro. Wewe tumetoka kuwa guinea pigs bwana.
Ikitu iko kwa market. Kenya is not introducing, it's not testing. It's a drug in the market. Kenya is just introducing it. It's not even a drug. It's a device. Which is in the market. It's not a new thing. Kenya is just expanding choices for women. Wengine watachukua sindano, wengine watachukua tablet, wengine watachukua hii device waweke. It's just giving you as many options as possible for family planning. There's nothing wrong. It's a choice.
Wewe bwana, Kenya zaani. Alafu wewe mkubwa nini ili happen? Nilikuwa nikuuliza hiyo pia umbea. Mkubwa alikuwa United Africa bana. What happened? Ama umempiga vita huko nje hata nyinyi?
Nani huyo?
Si mkubwa alikuwa Unite Africa. Sikia unacheka.
You see, he has a very serious domestic plan here. Lazima concentrate hapa kwanza.
Oh, jamaa, me, I think the first 6 months I regretted why I voted Wajakoya. Like, very, really, I'm serious. I really regretted. I don't know what you people have done to him. Ama tumeletewa koloni ya America. I don't know. I need to do a thorough research.
No, you know, there is what he has actually done, and there is what we think he has done or not done. So until to have your conversation, it become, mimi nataka siku moja uniite hapa ukiwa na manifesto ya UDA, tuende page by page, tujiulize what has he not done.
Wacha nitakuorganizia siasa. Kwanza kuna watu wanapenda siasa hapa.
Bora wasikuja kupiga kelele tufanye kitu.
No, wakipiga kelele sina wa mute. Uone watu wanaandika hapa one time na wa mute because this is just a conversation. It's not a, we are not.
One time ni sawa. One time ni sawa kabisa, hiyo ina shida. Hiyo ni sawa kabisa one time. Ule anataka kufanya one time, hiyo ni sawa. What I want is we have a better discussion beyond to actually sema one time tuseme ni sawa. Sasa tuseme why one time.
Exactly. That makes sense.
Yeah. Lakini mtu kusema one time usimblock, hiyo ni sawa, ni constitutional right. Kila mtu ako nayo. In any case, William Ruto does not expect that kila mtu ataenda kupiga kura atampigia kura.
True.
Yeah. So hata ile election nyingine hakupigiwa na kila mtu. So iko tu sawa.
Kuna mtu amekuuliza gasi ya 300 iko.
On Mashujaa Day, we are going to launch a program around that issue. Angoje Mashujaa Day.
Are you sure?
Yeah, actually before Mashujaa Day.
It will be, you know me, I will keep you to your word.
Mimi sizamangi vitu ambazo siwezi nikadefend.
Haya. Wakenya, wait, give me a pen and a paper.
I have said, just for the record, I have said something around that issue of gas. It may not be the gas for 300 exactly, but a reduced approach to gas.
Ati free airtime. Kulikuwa na free airtime pia?
Both have some free airtime. The president promised, then as deputy president, he promised atapeana, watu watapiga simu bila, they will not need bundles to call. But that has been delivered surely.
Oh, hey,
Ina mahali inaitwa, the person who was asked that question, unfortunately nimeikosa hiyo swali, sijui nani ameuliza. The person who was asked, nimeona hiyo free airtime mulisema, it's been asked, that question has been asked there. Enda mahali inaitwa www.bilawire.go.ke. You will see there almost over 1,000 places this government has installed free Wi-Fi. That was the promise, that tutaweza kupiga simu bila bundles. Mahali kuna free Wi-Fi, you call without bundles.
Na
So yes.
Kitu kingine nataka uende uraise brother. Kuna, okay, I wouldn't want to disclose the sources, but there are 2-3 doctors that came and told us on this platform, kuna madaktari wanaiba pesa ya SHA. Wakubwa. Hiyo pesa wanaiba in this sense. Wanakuja hizi vitu za matesting zenye hazifanyiki hapo, wanaambia watu wafanye kwa chemist zenye ziko next to the hospitals. Then hawa sisi wanafaa watumiwe do ya SHA ndio wasort hizo vitu. So they have their bigger shares in that SHA money. So madaktari ndio wanaiba hazifikiwa Kenya. So the doctors were here saying that, wacha nikwambie hiyo pia waangalie.
Yeah, there is, unakumbuka DCI walipewa files for people who have stolen, doctors, medical hospitals that have stolen.
Yes.
That thing DCI walipewa very soon, utasikia maneno. Watu, I'm sure those investigations are almost complete and there will be action. By the way, kitu ni serious sana. Kuna hosi ilikuwa itisha refund for a man giving birth. Kuna ingine itisha refund for a man being amputated on the right leg 6 times within a period of 1 month. So kuna ukora, but you see, as we deal with ukora, we must also deliver services. But yes, there will be action on that bit.
Yeah, because I felt so bad. Because tukiangalia, unajua me, what I do is I don't really side with any. All I want is information has to be valid. Because pia nimeshikwa kidogo, alafu itumbe unipatie personal number. Mimi ushikwa. Bro, nimekuwa rafiki ya mapolisi.
Bora ushikwe sababu ya pombe. Pombe mimi sitoangi mtu kwa sababu nasemanga hiyo kuokoa maisha yako. So siingiliangi hiyo. Ukishikwa hivyo ndivyo my brother na kuacha ulale ndio kule sopa.
Pombe zi. Unajua juzi nimeanika jamaa anafanya fundraising za uongo. Like anakuja na mtoi mlemavu anachangisha tu. Mimi nikamwanika kwenda sijui CCIO akaonwa nini. Alinigeuzia. Nikalala huko siku mbili kwanza warm up nikaambiwa niende na nisiwe ongeo jina. Na video zangu zote zikadeletiwa. Sasa unajua vitu kama hizo inafaa nikuwe na mtu mwenye bro, CCIO ndo amenishika. Nasikia tu namwambia mpe simu, akisikia nitungi. At least hata naachiliwa nipumue.
No, ukishikwa na kitu kama hiyo it's wrong. I mean it's wrong if you're exposing an ill in society for you to be arrested. So ukishikwa na kitu kama hiyo I'll tell you who you should call and then that person will make sure that does not happen.
They put down my videos, I'm telling you, all of them. I felt bad but unajua kuna ile kiwango nasema maybe I did.
Hizo videos unitumie mimi niweke nione kama watanishika.
Sawa. Nilipelekwa mbio. Anyway, ni sawa tu. We learn. Thank you so much bro, mazendo hii namba yangu. Well, I say within 48 hours I have been told that I'll have a computer here and I will be sharing with you. So tulieni tutakuwa tuna chat hapo vibaya sana.
Uko na pen hapo?
Yes, niko na pen.
0720
0720
144 547.
Sawa.
Huyo jamaa anaitwa Josiah.
Okay.
Mwandikia spoke about a computer, he brings it to my attention.
Sawa. Now Windows Yes.
Why are we paying housing levy and the houses are being sold to us? You see, government is doing affordable houses, not free houses. So the levy is to help to build the houses. Then you sell the houses so that your pesa go in circulation to help as many people to get the houses. But the housing program usiangalie kama nyumba, it's actually a job creation engine more than houses. It's been done by South Korea to develop, it's been done by Singapore before developing. So housing are a catalyst towards development and jobs. It's not just, don't look at the house as a house on itself. Then there's also the second justification. Mimi, when my dad is alive, alitupatia inheritance, alitupeleka place fulani, alikuwa amebuy plot ya 50 by 100, amejenga nyumba hapa chini, akatuambia kutoka hapo first floor mpaka mbinguni ni zeni. That is your inheritance. Hiyo hewa yote ni yenu. So, watu wamekatakata mashamba mpaka zimekuwa impossible to grow food. So one of the ways to ensure food production doesn't have a problem is to move things to the urban areas. In any case, report after report has shown that majority of the world will be living in urban areas. So lazima kama country to prepare for that time in 2050, which is not too far away. So that when people are living in urban areas, at least you will still have places to produce food and you will still have houses. Watu watakuwa wanaenda kukaa kwa slum. Watu watakuwa
Aya, Nolan anauliza hapa swali nimemleta kuuliza directly. Nolan. Yes, here is Mr. Dennis Itumbi. You can ask your question.
Hey, mheshimiwa nyaje.
Adeno tuuliza tu deno fiti.
Swali yangu ni
siku moja nikiitisha kura.
Swali yangu ni simple tu. Why is it that hii ni ya Gen Z na rapt to ama ni ya about hospital and then president anatokea huko na anasema atabuild 70 hospitals whereas in some hospitals hakuna medication, hakuna doctors. Ukienda kama kuna hospitali zingine saa hii kuna wagonjwa, ukienda kama Thika ndio nasikia mali online msana anasema Masaka amekuwa denied kutoka hospitali ya B wengine hawahudumiwi juu ya SHA na president anasema saenda kubuild 7 hospital whereas hiyo process inaweza saidia. Kwa hiyo mambo ya medication inaweza saidia kulipa au doctors on time medicine. Kubuy medicine.
Okay. Now, two things. Umeuliza some two different questions which are okay. Number one, unasema mbona president ametokea sahi. I don't think the president has spoken on that issue. The story umeona ni watu wakitafuta clickbait. So wameweka picha ya rais hapo wamesema Ruto to build hospitals. That statement is me who made it. The president is not building those houses now. Those hospitals now.
Hospitals.
Yeah, he's not building them now. He started building them in 2023. A list which is available and I can supply to you later. KDF, Nini, those hospitals are there, and the update of it I can give you and where they are up to now. I can make a statement. It's something that has been going on. It's actually more than 70 hospitals. 70 is in a KDF agenda by presidential directive. There are more hospitals than that. Your second question is Dawa or you are very correct. There has been a problem for since me I became an advocate. Also, there is a time when you could go to hospital ukiandikiwa unakuta dawa kwa pharmacy. Then as we grew up, zikapotea kabisa. In fact, up to 2024, hospitals zikuwa na dawa. Even now, there are some hospitals without drugs. But that has started being sorted through restructuring KEMSA. Now, see level 4, level 5, level 6 saizi kuna madawa. However, hizi madawa zinafaa kuwa mpaka dispensary. And there is a small problem there, I admit. And that is being rectified. Then my third question is around SHA. Well, on SHA, in the last 1 year, we have only had 7 million under NHIF. In the last 1 year, we now have 26.5. There must be something that is working. We need to move from 7 million to 26.5.
Okay. Okay, alafu last but not least ni issue ya okay. Sijasema ni mbaya kulipa TikTokers. Wenye president amesema analipa TikTokers. Kama sijui kama ni kweli mimi nasikia tu. I have not confirmed about it. It's not bad. Alafu pia issue ya mmesikia issue ya title deed. How is it that title deed ya public sector ya nini ya government property inapotea?
Okay. So the TikTokers again see rais alisema ni nini nilisema. And why I said that, well, imagine nation standard citizen Gava has been paying adverts there over 50 billion a year. So at the end of the jana 1 billion out of 50 billion used to advertise. Kwa sababu katiba inasema government must publicize what it is doing. By the way, kwa sheria we must publicize. So now the question is, what about publicize ni kufanya advert na tunatumia 50 billion and over? Kwa nini 1 billion is makosa iko wapi? That's question number 1. Number 2, you've asked about, what is that question you've asked?
About the title deed of I don't know Kasarani whatever.
Yeah. Those are issues that happen every time. Mara hakuna title deed ya pale KMC iko, hakuna title deed ya KMCC, hakuna title deed ya Kasarani. I don't know the fact, but because you have brought it up, I will check the fact. But there is not a title of public utilities that can get lost and go to. Whether if somebody thinks it can get lost and go to them, they are just joking around. It's not possible. However, because you have raised the question and I also saw the story and I did ask the relevant ministry where the facts are. Kesho asubuhi I will ask about the facts. Nikirudi hapa kwa huyu mbwana to the watchdog, nitakushow. For now, I don't have the facts from the ministry. I will need to find out.
Okay, thank you.
Aya, Kari, you have a question we need to like wind up?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Truth Watchdog. How are you, Mr. Isidope?
Mimi niko sawa kabisa.
Yeah, my question is just once.
Yes,
why is the government of Ruto getting this money you guys are spending on empowerment every weekend? Iko kwa budget ama inatoka wapi?
Okay, so two things around the empowerment programs. The empowerment programs is a bringing together of government programs. So, for instance, YDF, that's the Youth Development Fund, the Women Development Fund, Uwezo Fund, CDF. When you bring all those together, there are things they actually, by law, give out borders, tents, chairs, all those things is an aggregation. So you say, instead of one MP going to a constituency to give his things and they're small, you bring together 14 MPs. What they were supposed to give plus 10 women reps, you combine. Then now you empower bigger groups. But that's why empowerment is not to individuals, it's by chairmans. So that those people benefit. So it is not something new, it's something that has been happening for the longest, only that you have given it publicity by bringing together to make them large.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Aya, mwingine ako na swali?
Yes, I have a question. I'm not having a question. It's a suggestion. Then on time.
Hi, how are you doing?
I know you are a youth, and I was suggesting that you make. Okay, I know for security purposes and but I was suggesting that as a youth, at least to reachable to us kidogo, like someone can come to your office. You know, tunakuanga na ideas mingi how we can do things, but now kukufikina kwa shida. Like I was niko na namba yako hata deno.
Mimi now problem ni namba yangu. Now you see mimi obviously niko in too many stuff, but when you write to special.projects.
Oh, let minute. Okay, special.projects. Okay. Okay. My pen is full. All right, I'm on it now.
Special.projects at president.go.ke. President.go.ke. And then on the subject you write appointment.
Not?
KE.
Okay.
Comments.
Okay, thanks so much.
If you write to that and the subject of your email is appointment, there is an officer on that email who will bring it to my attention, and I respond to every request that's put. Only that it needs to be a bit detailed, because also you have to appreciate, I can't meet the whole of Kenya even if I want to, but if you put an idea that deserves, that requires further engagement, if the idea requires a phone call, you'll get a phone call. If the idea requires a special team to meet you, you meet the special team. So on the strength of your idea, you get the appointment that best fits what you're looking for.
Okay, thank you so much.
Haya, Rando.
Yo, Deno, mnanisikia ama?
Nakusikia.
Okay, mi niko na question moja ambayo ni about corruption in military. Kama juzi, the military wali advertise kazi za cadets and the rest, but there is this mindset ambayo like, okay, hakuna ati mtu anaweza sema publicly ni mtu anauliza pesa, but everybody ukimwambia about the job anakuambia uko na 400k, uko na 500k, cause watu wanasema kuwa kuna watu specific people wanaulizia hizo pesa ndo uandike hiyo kazi. Kama mimi ni nurse, nimegraduate 2023 na niko jobless actually still to date, but ukijaribu hizi kazi unaulizwa pesa. How can you address hiyo issue ya kazi na kuchukuliwa pesa?
Lazima mimi na wewe tu handle. And the way to handle it is first, kama kuna mtu anakutisha pesa, you share with me. Then mimi, I will protect you, but I will protect the name and the source, and I will handle the person asking for money. I am unable to say about KDF because I need to be fair, Mr. I applied job at KDF, but I hear what you're saying because I also hear it. Nasikia watu wakisema lazima ulete do ama deno ndio karibu na power tusaidie tupate hii barua. Me, my friend, hajaiona hizo barua. So, but from what you're saying is also what I hear. So the way we deal with it Need to expose our watu. You find out, you let me know, I protect you, me I expose it, and I get the people. So that we deal with this thing. Because Kitokama military is very sensitive. We should get the best people there. So that those best people protect the country with the best brains. It should not be the persons we know. Because otherwise, if we do that, in 10 years, we will not have a military. We'll have a congregation of our relatives, which is wrong. Or the congregation of people who could afford the bribes. And kama mtu alilipa 400 bribes, lazima atafute vile atairudisha. So, no. I don't like that. But unfortunately now, I'm unable to move because I also don't know. I don't know how to prove it.
Unataka kuprove? Kama unataka kuprove, nitakuletea hapa victims wengi sana Deno. Wengi.
No, unajua kusema kuleta victims, anyone can come and say anything. You know that.
No, with proof. With proof.
With proof, that's okay.
Yeah, with proof.
And that one, I assure you, with proof, I will act.
Yeah, ni wengi sana.
Hiyo proof tunaileta wapi? Hiyo ukiulizwa, like mtu anakuambia kuna barua ya kazi, but you have to have your 400k, 500k. Who do we report to?
Now, if you have someone who has that letter and you have not even done recruitment, now that's something to do. That's something. That's what I'm saying. That's why I've put an email address there: special.projects@president.go.ke.
Kama watu wamekulwa, by the way, people have lost a lot of money. Wengine wameuza mashamba.
Hata mimi nimesikia kabisa.
Okay, Nyarbor ama ni Master C. Anyone with a question as we wind up, please?
Yes. Niaje kwa nauliza Deno issue moja. Kuna kama kadama na kuna jua wanaenda Saudi, wanaenda Qatar nini. Kuna venye wanaweza wakawa secured juu ukichangia watu wengi sana wanafanywa masaa kama 16 au 17 hours, alafu mshahara unapata kama 27,000 Kenya shillings. So kama mnazaji organize na watu wa labor kivipi, at least wakitoka Kenya watu kuna certain amount, at least 40 to 50,000. Ukiuliza watu kama Philippines and Indians, ukiuliza salary yao unakuta watu wanafanya kazi moja, but mshahara wanapata kama almost 60,000 au hata 70, more than that. That is the government yao imeka certain amount ya kwa sasa mtu hawezi toka Kenya, hawezi toka India mpaka atoke na mshahara. But Kenya unakuta mtu ametoka Kenya anafanya 16 hours, 17 hours na salary 27, 22,000 to 30,000. Hapo mnaangaliaje kwa situation kama hiyo?
So I actually had this last week. I had this conversation on Kazi Maju program in terms of locking labor agreement in the countries where our people are going to work, so that you are paid but then you have to go with government of Kenya approved agents. Those approved agents which are on the website later NEAMIS, NEAMIS.go.ke.
Yes.
Ukienda tu pale Google uandike NEAMIS, NEAMIS, utaona, ukiingia kwa website utaona all the approved agents. If you go in with agents, wamesign the Ministry of Labor an agreement. So before you go to Qatar, before you go to Germany, now we have an agreement with Germany. There are about 17 countries. We have an agreement.
Yes.
You will get a specific salary. It is negotiated about leave days. It is negotiated a proper labor countries with those 17 countries. But on condition you go there with our approved labor groups.
Unashangaa umetoka even now Kuwait. So unakuta, imagine umetoka Kenya, nimelipa almost maybe 200,000 commission. Ukifika hapa ndosa anakuambia kwamba kuchai kazi umeitwa, hiyo kazi sio umekuja kufanya. Ndosa anakuambia kama utakucancel contract, labda unipe pesa yangu na kulipia ticket na visa nini unilipie ndio rudi. Umekuja mmoja huna hata pesa ya kumlipa. Inabidi sasa ufanye kazi hivyo masaa 13 14 ili umalize hizo kama ni contract ya miaka miwili ndio rudi. Agent ushampa pesa almost 200,000, umefika hapa kazi amekuleta sio hiyo, inabidi sasa ungangane uumie at least umalizie contract urudi. Tena utakurudi pia hakuna benefit yote, mambo na hiyo leave nini, hizo overtime hakuna. Inabidi sasa unaumia.
Kweli kabisa master, hapo ni kweli kumekuwa na hiyo shida for a while, but now it's sorted in 17 countries. I don't know whether Kuwait is part of it. But it's 17 countries on that side where we have now agreements that have sorted your issue. And we intend to have as many countries where Kenyans have to sign with us those labor agreements.
Okay, itakuwa sawa, at least itakuwa inasaidia juu watu wengi sana wanaumia baadaye.
Watu mama sisters hata fadhali wanaume kidogo ndio wanafanya kwa nje, lakini sisters zetu wanaumia sana, wengi sana. Wanapata shida sana. Agent akishakutuma hivyo ndio ashakutuma tena. Sasa bwana nashukuru, asante. Asante
kuna mtu hapa anasema na mkuu awache kulia The president was not crying. The president had a flu. So by the way guys, after Maliza Kublonos, by the way guys, I am very emotional by this issue. So I don't know why you connect the tears and his statement. He never cried. Now sometimes, you know, you create your own version of truth, you believe it, then unataka kila mtu believe. And you know, people who, some of us who are there, I think what we actually saw this tears thing in your social media platforms. It's not true. But you know, sometimes you say, you use that English phrase, believe what you need.
Atelia kama filifili kwa watu kachiva kazi angalia hivi machozi ikatoka. Noma si noma. Aya, we nyar yes. Nyabar.
Mambo.
Poa sana.
Mambo.
Niko poa.
Mambo Dennis.
Safi Nyabar namna gani?
Salama, niko na swali mbili, niko Caribbean, niko island, small island inaitwa St. Lucia. Niko St. Lucia.
Oh, St. Lucia, no St. Lucia and Anne. Is it that one?
No, it's just St. Lucia. Okay. In the Caribbean, Caribbean, St. Vincent and Grenada.
Okay.
But niko na maswali mbili. So one is on KEMSA, the other one is just a general question. KEMSA, sometime in 2017, 2018, nilikuwa nafanya na Barry Stops. Na kulikuwa program ya Bill Gates Foundation na WFP. So we were installing a system and a project ilikuwa inaitwa Vans. Ilikuwa inaenda kuweka system ya a pool procurement system sort of, and pool distribution system. But when wakati tulikuwa pilot, because I was one of the persons who were piloting it, but ile pande ya family planning products, sababu nilikuwa nafanya na Barry Stops. The system ilikuwa inafanya perfectly, and there was a clear path on how pool procurement ingefanywa, and I'm a pool procurement specialist by profession. So vile pool procurement ingefanywa, and then distribution ingefanyika from KEMSA. It was starting from kununua from suppliers mpaka distribution last mile. So I'm wondering, kama is it the same system or project that is being now not working, or did we abandon that project and went to another one? And if it was abandoned, or if we went to another one, why can't we rethink? Because tuko na expertise. I think Kenya tuko na expertise ya kutosha to rethink how we provide health commodities, how we distribute, and how we procure. What is so hard apart from the political will, ile inafanya hiyo isiwezekani. But let me give you some context also. So in 2021, we St. Lucia through a USAID project that now has been stopped. But what I was doing, nilikuwa nafanya pool procurement for 11 islands, on behalf of governments for 11 islands, for all the public hospitals, because hakuna private. And it's working, and that's working with 11 governments. What is it that we need to do, or what is it that is so difficult for us to be able to put in place for some of these things that we see and we are experts in, and we are able to implement outside? What is it that we need to do to make sure that our country functions for us?
So when we wrote our Katiba, I think one of the major places we didn't concentrate, because at that time I think whatever more it did to us, so we were looking at how we would stop, and whatever had happened in our democracy until 2010, we were trying to solve those issues. We didn't look at the real issues that now we face. So for instance, KEMSA is barely mentioned in that constitution. So we mentioned health generally. Then of course we created other laws that now empowers KEMSA. But yes, there is a centralized procurement for counties, which is the pool system that operates on that. Bill Gates formally sponsored the project, which was the pool system. It was well developed, and as you clearly say, it was mostly Kenyan experts. So I agree with you there. Actually, 70% of the KEMSA procurement is done on that pool system. Then there is that, I don't know whether you know about the supermarket revolving model.
Yes. Because
counties then were given the power, when we devolved health, counties were given the autonomy to decide where to buy drugs. So when Gidawao spoke directly to manufacturers in different countries and escaped from KEMSA, we never made KEMSA compulsory from the counties. So they were able to escape KEMSA and do their own deals outside KEMSA. And that now was what we gave as vertical programs for direct procurement from donors. Then, now what has now happened is we have activated something that has stalled for a long time, and I'm sure you may know about it, the automation bit. So that Kakamega County is not buying Panadol at, I'm saying this not for you because you're an expert, but for everyone else listening, so that Kakamega County is not buying Panadol for 300 shillings and Embu County buying the same Panadol for 1,000 shillings. So automation helps us to standardize the cost of medicine across board and the quality. The other thing that has happened with KEMSA is that we've now given them the power to install manufacturing of drugs in Kenya. So far, as I know, for coughs for children, some of the painkiller versions, we now have 6 main manufacturers of pharmaceuticals in Kenya in our SEZ program. So you are right, there is still a lot to do on KEMSA, but now for us to be able to deliver SHA effectively, you're now already treating people that need drugs or they are procured for pharmacy. For us to procure those pharmacies that are already existing on the centralized cost of drugs, for us to be able to do that is to activate this automation, which has now happened under SHA. And that's how KEMSA is now back, activating both the centralized procurement and the vertical program. But you're right, there is still a lot more to do. And you're also right that Kenya has the expertise, so you can be sure that we are on top of that. The most important thing in this healthcare thing after we have sorted SHA is medicine and commodities to be available.
Yeah, but the vertical was never meant to be a standalone. So I was part of that project and I pioneered it. But the vertical, I was supposed to be a very standalone. It was supposed to be incorporated into the system. So still, I think, again, this goes back to goodwill to be a system. So that's also something that needs to be checked. But I appreciate your response, and I'm hoping to number some of the things we know SHA is able to sort out the problems we have. However, we still need the goodwill, and there are professionals like us out here who are willing to help. Now, the second question is that in Eastern Caribbean, so pale tuko tunaitwa Eastern Caribbean, we are not the larger Caribbean. So the larger Caribbean is under CARICOM. Eastern Caribbean, we are under an organization called the OECS, Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. Hatuna representative huku karibu. The last month tumekuwa tuna struggle na a Kenyan who has lived in Trinidad for quite a number of years, but alikufa na cancer. So we really came together at least to make sure amepewa matibabu na nini. But now they needed to repatriate the body home, but the family walikuwa wadogo. Getting the embassy, I think we are served by Jamaica or somewhere. It is quite problematic. Is that something that munaweza consider to devolve part of the embassy services, probably one to the Eastern Caribbean, one in Barbados, because Barbados is the bigger one. But since OECS, Eastern Caribbean has its own sort of AU kind of thing, AU, there's SADC, there's ECOWAS, so there's the larger Caribbean, which is CARICOM, then there's the smaller ones, then 11 islands which form the Eastern Caribbean. Could you at least help us, could you help us, Lisa, if the government can consider having a diplomatic service either in one of the Eastern Caribbean countries or in Barbados, though Barbados is a larger CARICOM, is the bigger one CARICOM, so it's served better by Cuba. But for us, the smaller islands, we do not have anybody to serve us. Thank you.
I've taken note of that. Unfortunately, on that diplomatic question, I don't have a direct answer, but I've taken note of that and I'll pass it along.
Thank you. Asante Titi.
Karibu. Queen, nimesikia uko na swali hapo inakuasha. Queen what? Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Hi, Dennis.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm Queen Esther. Sister to Katru.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kuna kitu nilikuwa nataka kutuongea na wewe, lakini sasa unaona sikupatagi TikTok. We are friends here on TikTok, lakini sasa hatuwezi ongea TikTok. I was asking if naweza kutext size WhatsApp, you save my number, we talk later. If you don't mind.
No problem.
Okay, thank you. Alafu pia mkianataka kuimbiwa, I'm here.
Mwimbi, changamoto.
Hello.
Yes, hello, Burning Center.
I'm good.
Hello,
Dennis.
Very well, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Na mimi nilikuwa na issue ya funding model watu tuko third year. Kuna venye imetuaffect watu wengine, tuko na balance mingi, sasa hatujaisaidika.
What do you mean? Uliingia first year ukapewa band, haikudisperse?
Haina disperse, lakini sasa iliniweka yani mali wazazi hawafiki hiyo kiwango sasa.
After umeappeal?
Nilienda wakaniambia ilikuwa imenini hiyo time yetu hakutuwekea appeal.
But appeal happens at every turn. So you have never appealed?
Yeah.
You appeal ndugu yangu. Unajua sasa vitu zingine lazima pia uchukue initiative ndugu. Appeal. Because the appeal mechanism exists for that.
Okay.
Yeah, please appeal.
Okay, thanks.
Anonymous, ama ni anonymity?
Thank you, Truth Watchdog. Good morning, Dino.
Good morning, sir.
I'm very glad to be here. Sasa, I have two burning questions. Na ya kwanza ni mimi kama mmoja wa watu walipatia number 1 kura. Ilisemekana pesa itafika kwa mfuko. So I'm very ni kama too disappointed kuona vijana huko nje wamesota, vijana wamechapa, like sikuelewa how number 1 alikuwa anasema pesa itafika kwa mfuko, na ukiangalia kuna historia ya inflation, na ukiangalia wanasema yenyewe dola imeenda chini, pesa uchumi ni mzuri, lakini kwa ground watu wengi hata na vijana mpaka wamama wanalia, yani it's everywhere. So that was my first question. My second question, hata si question, ni request. They know, please. Kuna story ilikuwa inaitwa Church Blaze. Na this story ilikuanga since uko 2014. Na unfortunately mimi hata na familia yangu tulipatikana tu hapo ndani, na man alikuanga tu preacher, aliibia watu pesa mingi over 2 billion. Na unajua, so watu wengi wakapeleka petition, and I was asking, is our security apparatus ama our security men, akina DCI na polisi, kwani kazi saa zingine inaweza kuwa ngumu? Because ukiangalia history ya fraudulent na scammers, mostly wanaendanga scot free. Juu hata recently tuliona huko Trans Nzoia watu waliskamiwa wengi, na mimi hiyo kitu imekuwa ikiniuma. But please, mimi nimekurequest, na kama hata naweza kupata venye tunaweza kwa tu tuna communicate, tuone venye tunaweza kafuatilia hiyo kitu, nitakushukuru Deno. But nataka tu kujua if kama kitu inaweza kufanyika, because so many people are crying. Kwanza nikiangalia wazee wengine walikuanga kwa hiyo group, na ni wazee tu wanashinda wakifuatilia kwa mapolisi na hakuna kitu inafanyika. So Deno, hizo swali mbili tu ndio niko nazo kwa saa hii.
Okay, so let me start with the second question. Kuna email nimeshare hapa, special.projects@president.go.ke. Sijui about Church Blaze, nitumia a bit of more information, documents nini, then I'll follow up. Special.projects@president.go.ke. Hiyo swali ya kwanza on why pesa ijaingia kwa mfuko. So hiyo ni swali moja kama mimi ilikuwa inanisumbua sana for a very long time. But I've sat with people who know economics and why, and I've asked that question in very basic terms. So, the question on why does GDP grow but the pockets shrink? So, you see, the president claims to return money to pockets. So, how does he do that? First, increase price. Why do most people make their money? So, most people in Kenya make their money in Africa. So, the first thing I find out in coffee, I talk at 60 bob, it ends around 150. So that is money in the pockets direct to a lot of Kenyans. Then tea, I can increase from 215 EFE to around 330 now. That is also growing. Sugar is also enjoying the same amount of money in terms of growth. So now, I don't know what sector you are. You're probably in a sector, if you're in construction, the housing boom as you have seen today, has increased the GDP growth to 5.2% this year in Q1. So it depends on what sector you are and what growth is being experienced there for you to experience it. But is the country generally growing? Yes. Is the country making money for citizens in sectors that are growing? Yes. But it is also true that there is also a feeling that incomes have the expenses have grown up and incomes have shrunk, and the cost of living in terms of cost of some products has gone up and some of the products have gone down. So the issue of money in the pocket is a bit complex, but as the president pays for you to make that money, in terms of it's a long conversation we should have away from this tight conversation, to release what exactly has the president done that has made money come? For instance, before usually we want to give a new funding budget. That is money saved and it goes to the pocket. More 7 million and now it's 26 million. About 21 million Kenyans who are paying hospital fee in cash are now paying through SHA. That is money saved. So it is a complex question that we need to discuss so that we can go granular, and then we are able to say, has actually money been saved and are people getting it in household level? Yes. That's a question that we need to ask ourselves and then answer on a factual basis. And to Watchdog, I said he will just learn one of these days, and then I'm going to come here armed with facts from government figures. Then I'm able to show you exactly where the money is, where you should be looking at, where there is growth, where growth is projected in the next 10 years so that you concentrate there because you can clearly see that's where it's going. Actually, most of the times it's because we also don't get information on which sectors are making money. So you go open a business in the same old places which no longer make money. But this information is there. It's just a question of us to teach where we from statistics, then we fashion ourselves there.
Okay, so they know as I go, Ebu, please.
Projects at president.
Yes.
go.ae.
Okay, thank you. Alafu Truth Watchdog, please, unaona hiyo story ya ya Church Blaze. Najua unaweza lives, please unaweza kaangalia na uexpose vizuri because si poa jamaa alienda scot free na aliibia watu 2.1 billion. Thank you for your time, nimeshukuru.
Ambia watu namba ni hiyo WhatsApp. Unajua mimi sisi bonga kitu kama sina evidence. Nimefinywa sana, so lazima kuwe na evidence. Tell them to reach out. If there is information, trust me, it will be all over.
Aya, asante.
Nani alikuja Oloibona ama African Queen? Who came first?
I think it was me.
Okay.
Yes. I have a question. I saw one of your posts that said that was talking about the eye scan.
The iris.
Yes, for scanning for the eye. Something like that. Is our government aware, or how do they come to this country to collect the eye scan for the people so that they can use for the robots? Because those data they're going to use for for eye or other things. Where those data collection is heading, where is it taking? And who allow them to come? How do they come to this country? for those who are collecting the eye.
I don't know whether you are addressing WorldCoin or you are addressing IBC. So
No, it's something to do with IEBC.
Okay, so on IBC I've not posted anything, but I have just checked now and I've seen IBC plans to introduce iris biometrics in addition to fingerprint and facial photos to ensure elections are free and fair. So, and it's that biometric layer because now IBC has facial photos and fingerprints as we speak. So, scanning for now is optional and it's not mandatory according to IBC. So now what is mandatory is fingerprints, ID, and photo. Bado mambo ya iris again. Yeah, but it's equal, like it's optional for you to do. IBC has a strong data protection policy, and it also remains in Kenya. But if you are addressing WorldCoin, which also scanned the iris when they came, opinion is divided. There is an opinion that believes the iris was only being used to secure their money because it was you are buying tokens, and there is a group that says they are mining data of Kenyans to go and use for their own things.
What kind of tokens do they have to buy and use for scan?
For WorldCoin, the way WorldCoin was formed, WorldCoin was a cryptocurrency, and for you to secure your vault, they needed your iris. However, by the way, Kenyan government stopped it and banned it. Yeah, Kenyan government banned it. Yeah.
That's very good because that's saving the money. And all those things, I assume that is belong to the CIA and the FBI. And some of the country, they have a booth that they can sell it and they can receive cash. They can withdraw with cash and they can even buy with those, what do I call the electric, the cryptocurrency. But that one, I think it's not, as a Kenyan, we haven't reached to that extent and we cannot believe it and we don't even have those booths here.
No, but we do. The IBC is already doing it. There's something that's already happening with the IBC. We have the technology to do it, but it's optional for now. When you're registering as a voter, you can decide to have your iris scanned. So it's optional for now. From what I'm reading here, it's an option of it for now.
All right, okay. And then my fellow Kenyans in the I think they talked the lady who talked about this in the Caribbean. I think the Caribbean people have to make kind of association among themselves, and our Ministry of Foreign Affairs all the time. They must have a record of the people of this country who have got out of this country. And the nearest, whoever who have given the visa and everything, when they get the visa, they are supposed to be given record to the government of Kenya. And for that case, if they don't even have any kind of embassy around them or among them or the area, then they can have something called a custom. And this custom will be closer to the nearest embassy, okay? And they have to form, and for them to form for that, then they need a little bit of training about international migration and international law, and then for that case, they will be well set for themselves to lead each other and to support each other as a Kenyan to anywhere that they are. So that's all what I wanted to add for the lady who, I think she left. I don't know if she's hearing or not. And then for that case, our government will be easier. And for our nation, they will always have a unity and a strong nation anywhere that in the diaspora they are. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oloibon, haraka please. Tumefika saa 9. People need to go and rest.
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 10, unaweza patia Ruto ngapi? Now the second thing, why is this government so harsh on investors? Hawezi invest, yani you have to bribe to invest. You are too unfriendly to the investors. That's why wanaenda Tanzania, Rwanda. You should let the investors invest so that they can create jobs. You know, I'm not a fan of this government. It's too corrupt. I must be honest with you. Yeah, if you want to invest, you have to go see NEMA, see this. You have to put, like in Rwanda, you take like 2 days to get your permit. Here you take like forever. You have to pay this. You have to drive this. You know, tell your president to fix it. If you want to create more jobs, it's not exporting labor, it's exporting slaves outside. You see your labor. I should let you know, like, there are people suffering out there in Saudi Arabia. You should know, and you know it. So I want to know why you are unfriendly to the investors when they come to invest in Kenya.
Okay, Olaibon, I always find it very interesting when people raise the issue of investment and unfriendly climate in Kenya about investment. Just today, if you just Google up there, you see Kenyan. There has been a report that rates Kenyan investment very highly. In fact, we floated the Eurobond, and the Eurobond has been oversubscribed to over 7 times. That shows you that investors have very high confidence on the Kenyan climate on investment, and that is today. The Standards and Poor's already rated as high upwards in terms of investment climate. We have a one-stop investment center at the Kenya Investment Center, Kenya Investment Council, and all you need to do is go to that one-stop center, and all the licenses, NEMA, and everything you need to do are handled for you by government. Number 3, it is not true that we have many investors living in Kenya for Rwanda and Tanzania. Those are social media gossip. You should come, I show you how many people over the last 2 years have invested in Kenya. Very serious companies here in Kenya. But as I've said, Truth Watchdog has offered to host us. I'll come with facts. Then I'll show you there is this company, it's in Naivasha, set up in 2024. It's employed 70 Kenyans. It is making this amount of profit. It's being invested here. This company, and I can tell you more than, I'm talking about 300, 400 companies that have invested in Kenya, employing Kenyans in different SEZs. So these are facts. I mean, however, social media gossip is there. Sometimes we believe it and we make it truth. But when we look at it sharply, we find that it's actually not true. I mean, like I saw something circulating on TikTok about the companies that have left Kenya. When you look at it, I'll go to it, I will pull it up here when Truth Watchdog hosts us, and I will show you each company that is being seen to have
my point. I'm saying they are unfriendly. Like if you want to, you have to talk it to Kidogo.
Now, on corruption, I've addressed corruption here, and I've said corruption can only be handled from a point of facts. Yes, there are some people, and I am not disagreeing, by the way, because I know there are some people who tell you to do something, you must pay. Those ones deserve the guillotine. So, but those ones we have to act me and you. I may not know everything, but you and me working together, you saying this guy is asking for bribes, I'm able to deal with it. In the issue of me rating Ruto's performance,
who should I tell to, like, who should, if I know this license is this, and the guy say, oh, you should pay me this to do it quicker.
I've shared an email address here, special.projects@president.go.ke. Anything you get there, I'll get it in real time. Then you have asked me a question to rate President William Ruto on a scale of 1 to 10 on his performance. I mean, that's a basic question. So what you do, if you ask me to rate him on agriculture, on housing, on that, then I'll be able to rate. He's still
in general. I'm not saying basic in general. Like you can give you a 6 or 10 or 7.
You know, you've asked that question, you have to allow me to answer, my brother, then we have a conversation. So what I'm trying to tell you, my brother, is this. William Ruto has performed. As to me, rating what he was given 5 years by the Kenyan people to perform what he promised. So the rating of his government can only happen at the end of his term. When then at that point we'll ask him to ask for re-election based on his track record. As of now, he's on track 10 over 10. But as for performance, is to look at it at the end to see he promised this, has he done, he did this, has he done, and that can only be the Kenyan people told him, Mr. William Ruto, go become president for 10 years, or for 5 years. At the end of those 5 years in 2027, we'll then look at what he promised, why Kenyans voted for him, what he promised, what he's done, then I'm able to give you a rating. By the way, I want you to go open up something called Polyfact, and then look at Obama meter. Look at Trump meter. Look at what Obama promised for 10 years, what he delivered, what he...
We are speaking about Kenya. We are not speaking about outside.
I'm pointing you to global rating. You know, you cannot rate people with a Kenya-centric rating. You rate with what global leaders are ranked on. So I'm referring you for you to even gain knowledge. You can also refer me to something else. You teach me something, I teach you something. We discuss so that not that we win arguments, but so that we gain knowledge of each other. Winning arguments is easy, and I prefer to lose because then I gain. But if I lose after you have taught me something, that's a good thing. So what I'm trying to point you to, go to polyfact.com, look at how other leaders have been rated, then use a global-centric meter to rate your own local leader. It is the best way. But mine is knowledge sharing. You can also share knowledge on how you would want us to rate, then we rate.
About the TikTok hospital, the government is not against. Itubi amesema atachanga. If you are here late, actually he said he will contribute once we start fundraising.
Hii mambo ya hospitali, let me just repeat it for the sake ya wale wakua. Tumechanga hospitali before through mission hospitals and faith-based hospitals. Tumejenga mahosi, tumejenga dispensaries, tumejenga health centers, tumejenga hata kwa communities. Tumechanga neighborhoods, tukajenga mahosi. So it's nothing new. And if we want to scale it even higher to a level 6 and a level 5, even better. And Mimi, I welcome the building. President William Ruto is only building 70 hospitals through various initiatives, budget and KTF. So maybe sina shida na TikTok hospital, nianze na mimi pia I'll contribute there. Any initiative by Kenya. Sasa Truth Watch hapa niambia tunaweza raise enough money jenga usingine, tunajenga hata pale kwa Oshags tunajenga. There is no problem. Then we have a discussion how we sustain that hospital. So that tunajua sasa hiyo watu wanasema I will offer my services. Wengine wanasema I'm a doctor, I will offer my services, but how we make sure that actually that happens so that the hospital is sustained. That's a conversation I want to have. I fully 100% support such an initiative.
Before I go, our borders protected? Are we secure in our borders?
Absolutely. That's why for the last almost 7-8 years, you haven't had a terror attack to the magnitude of West yet. That's why, despite having countries that have gone to war, our borders are still absolutely intact. There are some issues that happen especially around the Somali border, but they are not at the same level that we were many years ago. So our borders, KDF has done a good job to secure us.
So do you think people who are coming in, are they vetted? Do you know the people who are in Kenya?
Absolutely.
Okay, time is there. Okay.
Yeah. We have a digital system, my friend. Everyone living in this country is captured on a digital system, including even the ones who are living now to board a plane. We have captured their images. We have captured their fingerprints. We have a digital record of everyone entering and leaving Kenya. That does not eliminate the fact that we have a few issues on some of our borders.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Watchdog, nashukuru sana kwa kunipa nafasi niweze na mimi kushare opinion yangu. Ya Dennis mambo.
Rafiki sana wewe ukwaje?
Mimi niko salama salimini.
Yes.
Ya nikingana nataka tu kusema. Kia imekuwa mingi wallahi, si eti like mimi nikisema hivyo niko ground like mimi nikwambia hivyo, that's what the people are saying, like mimi ndio niko the people niko ground nasema hivi. So kuna issue ya farmers ya bonus discriminating vibaya sana. So from where I come from Kisii.
Bonus ya chai.
Surely you cannot tell like a person from Embu anaweza pata bonus ya 42 and above shilling per mtu wa Kisii, a farmer anapata 12 per kilo. Then you want to bring the narrative that like the government inaweka pesa kwa wananchi. You know, hapa ndo tumefeel. Si eti ni vitu kubwa kubwa like huko juu mahusini like hizi vitu ndogo ndogo like ziko like always something is scam like hadi umesikia like watu wamesema upewa per kilo like always sema like ni PR na ngoja kuanza PR. Am I lying, Mr. Dennis?
Endelea tu. Na ngoja swali.
So swali ni like when will our country like be on a fair ground like yenye tuna feel like sisi wote like tuko sawa, the government inajali watu wote bila kubagua hawa na wapi, maybe like hawa na wapi like tuko tu fair. Hiyo ni swali langu number 1. When you will. Swali number 2 ni about the government eating its own people. Like the Kenyan government is against watu wake vibaya sana. This is the reason. Personally, nilikuwa Embu University first year. Then I mean like the shule inaweza produce wana leaders wake like hivyo. So I'm a computer student by that. I was pursuing computer science. So like like shule ilikuwa inajaribu kuimpose leaders wake. Sasa like mimi nika hack system like nikasema like hizi endelea. So after hiyo ni mimi wakanichuja like wananiambia so utakuwa out like mmoja kwanza ni wamalize alafu utakuja baadaye. So counting on a suspension due like to stop like hiyo narrative yenye we want like the system inataka watu wenye wanaweza favor like the system itself. Umenielewa mister?
Nakuelewa kabisa.
So like me say like I just feel like I'm Kenya. You tell me why like I'm using my knowledge to stop the impunity in the system. Then the system punish for doing the right thing. Like in the sense I was doing the right thing. You always like the should leaders work like on its own. What when is a control maybe na see what when you comrades wanataka. Hiyo ni swali number 2. Then number 3 ya mwisho, which ni ya mwisho, like nilikuwa na suggestion. As a programmer, as a computer science student, like the main problem facing Kenya si mambali na zitu mnang'ang'ana hapo kuhandle it job nini. The main problem ni accommodation. Like vijana hawako accommodated. Like we have a field system yenye is accommodate watu. Like umeniambia like watu wanatoka juu school nini wanaenda place fulani ni Kenya government inakuwa accommodative. Watu wanakuwa na complain say the job is doing to create job. We should be able to accommodate generations. Like tuseme saizi kuna watu wanatoka chini like tuseme maybe 14 years to 19. The government should be like ready to accommodate like unit facilities accommodate like such that ifike time wasikuja tena kunini kwanza mambo ya nini eti mambo ya for no job like ishida leo the previous regimes you au kuna accommodative systems zenye zinaweza accommodate our size si eti ni mambo ya eti job government ile na the previous regimes aziko za accommodate watu wenye kwa size vijana so nini kwa accommodative. Okay, that's what I have to say now.
So, kwanza congratulations for being able to hack an election system in a university. You should not be suffering at all, my friend. You should be helping society. No, I'm responding to you. Ukinipatia time, I'll be able to answer all those other questions. So, the thing is, Sayu Kohom was suspended. And I'm actually congratulating you. And I'm actually saying you're a guy who I should actually look for. If you're able to work into those systems, you should be doing something better than that. Number 2, issue your differences of T bonuses is a historical issue. Like it's also based on quality. Naturally, the green leaf from Kericho Bomet, Kakamega and Nandi has higher quality in terms of sale. That's even at the sale level. Like in 2025, the Kericho tea was selling for $3 US per kg. Tea and some other areas was selling at $2 per kg. So the market value, high attitude, now why the bonuses are completely different. So it is an issue that is also agreed even by farmers themselves in terms of the kind of leaf that's produced. So here as we speak, purple leaf is one that's selling the highest. Take off. It is not a mistake of Kisii farmers. It is a mistake or it is a market thing. It's market driven. Mambo ya bonus, yes, you are right. This year the less than last year, but it's higher than it was in 2022. So contextually, it's still higher. So it's a question of yes, it has dropped more than it was last year for various issues. Kuna issue, for instance, the Kenya shilling became stronger. Last year, we were doing dollar at around 169. Now dollar is at 129. So whereas that is the dollar down, it is at disadvantage to farmers because then it's at disadvantage to farmers because then the dollar is the Kenya shilling unless in terms of exchange rate. So those are some of the issues that come with that. So those are my answers to what you've raised.
Okay, G-Boy.
Thank you, Truth Watchdog, for this opportunity. Mimi niko na maswali mbili tatu kwa Mr. Itumbi. One, Mr. Itumbi, good morning.
Morning to you.
Okay, nice. I have a few questions to ask. Number one, inaenda hivi. Like, ukijaribu kuangalia the previous... Yeah, it's morning, yeah, sure. Ukijaribu kuangalia the previous government, zenye zimekuwa na zilitoka. Number one, mnafaa kujua sisi ni wa Kenya kamili, wenye tumezaliwa Kenya. Sasa kuna hii issue ya national ID. Yenye number one, ati ukipoteza ID una replace juu na pesa ngapi. Ama ukienda kushika ID unashika na 1,000. Why is it that Kenya Kwanza government ndio imeleta hiyo ya kushika ID na unalipia? That's like unanunua citizenship. Okay, my question number 2 is kuna hii issue ya ukishika ID sijui nini, voters ID. Unaenda unaskaniwa mpaka macho sijui nini, hivyo venye mmesema. Mbona unajua macho is the most sensitive part of the what, let's say of the body, ama ni kitu ingine like iko na hidden something like yeah, scan watu mpaka macho venye unasema. Alafu number 3, kuna issue ya Kasarani National Stadium. Hii kitu imeenda viral sana hadi ni aibu sana mzee, hadi yani countries zingine zinatushangaa like what's not happening in Kenya, like title deed ya Kasarani inaenda missing. Able to explain here why and how does that happen and who is that, like akona guts ya kuchukua kitu ya serikali like a government facility, like akuna title deed ya government facility and the TSC government. Those are my few questions.
Okay, so first of all, the replacement of ID. Ukiangalia, there was a gazette notice, and you know, gazette notice is online. There was a gazette notice, I think, on 19th March 2025. Actually, on 19th March 2025, there was a gazette notice that modified replacement of ID.
You are not the only person.
That's for first time.
You are not the only person.
Yes. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes.
You can hear me?
I think here in the logins, no, but in the client.
So now, for the first time application of IDs.
Excuse me, Joshua, can't leave me.
Beginning, I'm going to 3 hours.
Okay. So now for me to be, I think there was a bit of distraction there. Yeah, sure. 2025, 19th March, there was a Gazette note. By this, you do not pay anything, you pay zero. However, there was, you'll have to pay for replacement. Why do you pay for replacement? Because naturally, and to be fair to government, and also to Kenyan taxpayers, you're paying taxes. We cannot then be using taxes to cater for renewals of, you know how much it is to print a paper. Now can you imagine how much it is to print one ID? If we then allocate resources to only replace for free, then people will not care. There will be people will not take care of the IDs. You can easily replace for free. You have to put a charge to lost IDs so that you're able to sustain the printing of IDs. But if you're applying IDs for the first time, it's free of charge. But for renewal, there is a small charge so that also you don't encourage people to use that so that you also don't encourage use of taxpayers' money on something that has already been issued for free. So when you're issued, you get lost, you then print at your cost. Okay. In any case, by the way, there is Maisha card. Maisha card is virtual. So if you have a Maisha card, you don't need a physical ID. So if it gets lost, you don't need to replace because you have it virtually. So now if you understand the virtual card, then the issue of replacement is unnecessary. So you don't have to pay forever in your life. But if you want it printed, you pay. In other words, you can stay with your ID and printed, and therefore it will never cost you anything to own an ID. But if you want it printed, other taxpayers should not be costed for you to keep replacing your ID. I hope I make sense.
Okay, you've made some sense, of course, but like on that ID, then why does it have like an expiry date?
For what? There is no expiry date. That's what I've told you. On the physical, if you print, if you go for, you can have a virtual ID that you stay with forever. You don't have to renew it. You don't have to do anything. It doesn't expire. It is yours. That's why it's called Maisha card. It's for life.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Next answer to the next question.
Which is the next question?
The next question was on the first one was on ID. Number two, it was on let's say Kasarani National Stadium losing the title deed. How does that happen?
So I handled that question earlier. I said I do not have the facts. I will need to ask tomorrow. I saw the story, but I have not asked the ministry what are the facts around that issue. So I am unable to respond. But I also said, I mean, there has been that issue on title deed for KICC, title deed for where KBC stands, and all those things have ended up in public interest. No one will take a public utility and claim to be their own. So even if somebody is playing games, that will not happen, it will not work, it's a useless move. However, I do not have the facts. Please give me up to tomorrow. I will find out the facts because I don't work for Ministry of Lands, and then we'll be able to respond.
But on the issue of yes.
Okay, go on.
But on the issue of like you were saying on Maisha card, but there are some young Kenyans I can see, and I've even witnessed that they're having an ID with an expiry date, like a span of some years it is expiring, then they renew or replace. Then why didn't you like give that Maisha card to each and every Kenyan so that he or she can hold it like an ID?
Now you see, that's why I told you, when you do the physical card, in terms of the 10-year expiry date, I'm sure that's what you're asking about. Yeah. No, it's not. There's someone before you said this, and it was you. There's somebody before you said he's a computer science student. So the chips that are enabled in the cards, normally have a limited usable time frame.
Okay.
So in terms, because the new Maisha cards have a chip, and those microchips have a usable limited. For the expiry of ID to go do biometrics again, or new photos, or to do your facial recognition again. It's not tied, by the way, to elections after 5 years. Yeah, it is just a tech and security issue because of the microchip. That's why there is an expiry. Otherwise, there is no other issue.
It's okay. What about that of?
And of that, where it is based, where it is based on the expiry of the microchip, you're not required to.
Your network, sir.
I'm saying you're not. Are you now getting me?
Yeah.
Where the microchip has come to, the life of the microchip-enabled ID card, your expenses, government expense, just to keep you current, so that your microchip does not expire, does not go out of limit of you.
Okay, lastly, what about on the scanning of the ID, like on a voter's ID?
I don't know. Before you ask that question, that what I've seen IBC saying, it's an optional issue. You don't have to do it. They are just trying security so that no one can think of stealing elections. There are 3 biometrics that IBC uses. So there is fingerprints.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there is photos.
Yes.
We are registering. Those are compulsory. However, they are now introducing iris to completely ensure that it is you voting and not someone else. However, that has not been made compulsory there. But you can use it, or you can.
But why introduce something like that and yet the fingerprints are not the same? Even if you try in this one, even if it's like those twins who are, you cannot even be able to differentiate. There is a very big difference in between the fingerprints. Why introduce that?
There are some people work. Yes, so those ones can. There are some people who do not, their fingerprints do not show and are not captured on biometrics, either because of old age, natural recourse. So those people, you then need another way of identifying them. So anyway, it is not compulsory. So it is not turn around it because it's not compulsory. It's optional. You can choose to do your iris. Like me, I want to go to voter registration and put my iris because it secures my vote more, and I will have an option of. But everyone has a choice to either use or not.
It's okay. Thank you, sir.
Hi, Okaro. We close the show.
Hi, Mr. Dennis Ichungwa. I'm actually not this evening.
Where did you get Ichungwa?
Itumbwa or Itumba?
Itumbi.
Itumbi. How are you doing? I can't see the whole name.
I'm good.
Okay, that's good. I just have like a few questions. For example, I went to your page. That's how I'm also Kenyan, I have interest. So I went to your page, and one thing I'll say that it was inevitable that TikTok was going to put a headquarters in Kenya because Kenya is top 3 consumers of TikTok, and Kenya actually has 10 million registered users who log in every 24 hours, and there's 10 million of them. So TikTok had every interest, financial interest, to have a place in Kenya because it's Kenya, South Africa, and Nigeria, right? And they were already in South Africa. So what I find is interesting is that you guys are going to use TikTok, which is what you're advertising, actually, what you say, but leave alone the, politically correct English. Basically, you guys have decided you're gonna get your hands dirty. You're not gonna get someone else to do it, to be a puppet. And so now you are saying that you are going to use TikTok's content creators, sisi unaitwa tusingi watu, you're going to use us for PR for the current government so that it's a win-win. So you guys are going to reward creators more who do government propaganda that is pro the current government more than people who are just doing other content creators. So if for example, if my understanding, so I want you to correct me, if Truth Watchdog was today to stop following the Forex boys around and decide to start supporting the government and putting out content about the government, he would be paid more, regardless of him probably not having the same followers, his algorithm not hitting the way it's supposed to be. And then if somebody else has the following, has the viewership, his algorithm is up there, but they're not making a content, that content creator is not gonna get as rewarded as Truth Watchdog. Is that what you guys are advertising? What do I care if he's Muhesh? He works for the government, he works for us.
Thank you very much. No, I'm not even Muhesh, I'm just Dennis. So I appreciate the government advertising agency spent about 1 billion in 2024 for standardized government advertisements. If you add the counties and the last year to advertise across Kenyan government, the constitution requires Kenyan government to publicize what it is doing. That's a constitutional requirement. So now, proposal, and government's proposal is as follows, that we should not only advertise in mainstream media, but we should also advertise in digital media. You advertise using creators. So our proposal is to advertise the government projects, housing, agriculture, so that then we are able to publicize what government is doing as the constitution requires. So how do we choose? Your opinion is that we are going to use algorithm. I do not think we're going to use algorithm. We are just going to create content competitions that are rewarded as platforms, so that then everybody has a fair chance to publicize what government is doing factually. So government will offer a brief, like the content creators turn it into form, into creative form, and publish in their different platforms. And then as to the details of how that will happen, we'll publish it out soon on how exactly that will be delivered. And my question, 2 billion to media houses. What would be wrong in us giving 1 billion or 500 million to content government advertisement and their taxpayers? I actually find the reaction over the last 2 days a bit baffling from where I sit, because
Dennis, I'm for Kenyan government supporting our content creators, because instead they are content creators kunyonga kupata pesa, wakule pesa ya ushuru, you know. They just eat corruption money. And you guys are not using Meta. No, listen. You're not using Meta for the propaganda and the PR, yet you're using TikTok platform, the very platform that you guys know have a major influence in some of the Gen Z voices, has a major influence on some of the, what is it called, opposition you guys have always been having. Why are you not targeting Meta? Like, I'm talking Facebook and Instagram. Why TikTok? What makes TikTok special?
Only that I was speaking in a TikTok forum. That was a TikTok creators forum training. That is why people think our creators have a website, whether those content creators are on Facebook or they're on Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn, those platforms.
You know, the thing is that I think most people have figured out that the, whatever they call mainstream media, like Citizen and KTN, are now useless. Because now we have things like TikTok where we can publish news that's happening with immediate effect. If I live in Kawangware and there's something burning, I can film it for 1 minute, post it before even the news tracks and all that people get together, and I can give the news raw. So as the platform that has been shouting the most and influencing the political field in Kenya, now you're going to bring in money to influence ideologies so that it can work for you instead of the Gen Z's beating you. So you guys are going to take over the biggest Gen Z platform. with money.
No, I mean, to be fair, my dear, that's not from you. Look,
Okay, what are you guys doing?
on this TikTok, Facebook. Yeah, that's what I'm explaining. The betting companies are on this TikTok, they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, and they're giving money for content creators. Safaricom is on these platforms, and they're giving money for you to sell the positives about Safaricom. Content creators money to sell the best about Mercedes, Toyota. I see adverts every day here of those ones paying for those platforms to get. What is wrong with government?
But okay, so let me tell you what's wrong.
To publicize.
Let me tell you what's wrong.
Yeah, please.
Mercedes-Benz does not have ideologies nor the power to make laws that affect my daily living, like my transportation. Mercedes-Benz, I don't trust them with my security. I don't vote for Mercedes-Benz. We vote for the government. The policies and the ideologies that are in the government affect our daily lives. Do you know how many single mothers we have here on TikTok who are always looking for diapers, food, medication, just their basic stuff? And the influence mostly is the political ideas and the political policies that have been put in Kenya, and some of them are so redundant and old. We're not in the 1960s anymore, guys. We are being led by people who have a mindset like in the 1960s, while the world is not even in 2025. The way the TikTok moves, 1 week in TikTok, you've missed like a month worth of content. So you guys know we are moving faster. Whatever ideologies you guys have and policies you put in effect, it affects even mwanamke ushago. Mercedes-Benz does not affect a woman who's in Ishago. So there's a huge difference between business advertising and the government that can decide when I can give, if or not I can have an abortion, the cost of my food, the cost of my water. They decide which roads get fixed. You guys decide everything, yet you want to make yourself equal to Mercedes-Benz. When did the Kenyan government become a business or an international business for you to measure yourselves with business?
So I receive data from TikTok. So I've just pulled on their revenue. They made $23 billion from advertising in 2024. The United States government.
Advertising where? Advertising where?
You've asked a question. I've given you time to speak. It will only be fair for you to allow me to respond. So the United States government advertisement on $10.4 billion on TikTok advertising. United Kingdom and Europe. China advertises both on some platform called advertisement specifically on government achievement. Brazil and Latin America, South Korea and Japan. I mean, surely there is absolutely nothing wrong with government advertising on TikTok. And what we are saying, and by the way, this I will do. In terms of government policy, and I'm glad that you support advertising by supporting creators. So we intend to support our creators through advertisements on all social media platforms. And that we will start.
Okay, so like the SHA, we keep tunashinda pa tukichangia wanawake waende wazae, because apparently sometimes SHA works, sometimes SHA doesn't work, sometimes people are asked to pay the whole year money up front, and some of these girls don't have it, juu wako kwa village wanafanya hizo. So a situation like SHA, you guys will repackage it and try to sell it as one of the best medical policies or whatever you guys have come up with, and pay the creator to say all that, while we know we are constantly doing mchangos to help women just cover the cost, or the SHA is not working. It's not working for an everyday Kenyan. So you will report it.
I have the advantage
as a PR.
A back-end view of the SHA system. So I was just opening it when you're speaking, and I was looking at today. 4,000 people visited different hospitals in Kenya. Out of the 44,000 people, 34,400 people. Out of those 34,400 people, 32,000 benefited from SHA, amounts ranging from 500 shillings, and someone got paid 4 hospital today. At Kenyatta Hospital, the highest pay today was 280,000. So these are real people with real names and with real phone numbers. So I also agree with you that there are people who, let me finish kindly. You know, that's the only way we can have a conversation.
You keep your network is not good, so you keep like disappearing and going quiet.
Okay, fair enough. So I have data here that shows there for my SHA. I also hear you, and I also get that feedback that some people went to hospital and were told different. Yesterday on Instagram, someone tagged me that their mother was not treated for some disease called something arthritis rheumatism. Or required to pay 174,000. SHA did not respond. And SHA did not pay to SHA. I called SHA and asked why. And then I was told that that particular condition has not yet been put in the benefit package of SHA, and is will be active in 3 months. So yes, there are improvements being done on the SHA system that are progressively happening over time. So are not getting fully paid for by SHA. But yes, there are actually people who are going to hospital in the majority and are being paid for by SHA. It is that conversation by putting to focus issues. No one is going to pay a creator to say SHA is God. That would be stupid to say, and it is not. I am a course, I know a person who started me and work for them. Yes. So we will not do that, but we will advertise what is working.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Well, let's have a conversation. Let me ask you, your data, where was it collected? Where was this 44,000 people sampled at? Where was it collected?
Hospitals across Kenya. I'm looking at the master
the whole of
system
Kenya?
of SHA.
Okay. What's the number of the population of people in Kenya?
55 million.
55 million. And the only data you have is on 44,000. Percentage of that is Kenyan, the whole of Kenya. 44,000 people, what percent is that? Almost 0.2%. Almost 0.2. So if you guys come with data, and I'm sure a lot of people go to the hospital, if there's 50 million or whatever people, you should be bringing us data on the millions and data collected, like not in a month, but data collected over a long time, a year worth of data collected over, or how long SHA is here.
I have a year. SHA turned a year old on 1st of October, 2 days ago.
Okay, a year old, whatever. But the sample should be bigger than 44,000 people. It should be millions of people, all the hospitals.
It's good you listen to me. I've said 44,000 is for today. These are the people who went to hospital today.
I don't 50 million. No, but Mr. Dennis, do you understand how shameful that is? In a country of 50,000 or 50 million people, only 44,000 people could access hospital care in a day. I'm sure there's a lot of people with chronic and acute care. And only 44,000. Yeah, but that means that it was only 44,000 people with the privilege. Do you, like, this is what I'm telling you. Do you know how many sick people come here on TikTok?
I don't have that data of how many sick people come to TikTok, but I'm not sure any sick person would.
But you guys know we've been funding the normal 1 inches, whatever, by ourselves. I even heard you guys joking about a TikTok hospital.
No, I mean, surely. You see, that what you are raising now, for instance, I contribute to WhatsApp messages of someone who had a bill of 500,000, SHA has paid 150,000. There's a difference. contribute. So there are those cases. It doesn't mean SHA is not working. It means that SHA could not cover the entire thing. And that happens even for our private insurance, for heaven's sake.
Okay, so we need to stop. Fundraising for things like liver issues that SHA can't cover but can be covered in India. We just need to stop medicine, right? And let you guys handle medical stuff because SHA is working.
SHA is absolutely working. But there are gaps in SHA that require intervention by communities. And I've explained to you, I have friends who've gone to hospital. They have been SHA paid for them 100,000 and their bill is 300,000. The balance of 200,000 has to be looked for. There are people who have gone, their bill is 400,000, it's a surgery, it's been paid for in full by SHA. I mean, there are different issues on how we get about it.
Does SHA cover preventative care?
Absolutely. Primary care is absolutely free.
Okay, and let me ask you something. I heard something about there was nurses. No, I had something about, or I saw it in the news. Correct me if I'm wrong. I forget a lot, but there's a hospital in Nyanza area where the nurses had to strike because they worked for a year and they were never paid. How do you expect a person who's not being paid to offer medical care, healthcare, which is somebody's life, to keep on working and work at the upper standard of their practice, at the upper end of the scope of practice, to take care of my grandmother when you guys don't even pay them? So SHA doesn't pay nurses and doctors?
Well, SHA doesn't deal with the salaries; it deals with the claims of treatment. However, no one should be put in a condition where for 3 months they have not been paid. So unless I get the specific data of what hospital you're talking about, then I'm able to know is it a public.
You guys know what hospital it is. Google Araka iko Nyanza. The nurses striked because they haven't been paid for a year, and those are the healthcare people who are providing these services, and yet you know that increases the mortality. Because if the healthcare person is not happy, if the doctors are not going to perform at their best if they can't even feed their children.
If it is a public hospital, then that means the county.
I'm going to go and declare Sierra Referral Hospital.
If it's Sierra Referral Hospital, then that means it's Sierra County, and that's a question of the relationship with the county, and county needs to pay. So I mean that's a fair issue.
Yeah, county need to pay, but you are supposed, you as the bigger government, you are supposed to hold them accountable and supervise. So if they fail, that means you guys have failed.
No. I mean it's fair to also appreciate what the Constitution provides.
No, you, the bigger government, are always supposed to supervise and make sure the counties are doing things based on the policies and the laws you have put in place. How come you're not supervising that?
The law does not say that, and you can need to refer to your laws on that. It doesn't provide.
No, I'm saying that's your responsibility. The reason why you guys have introduced SHA is because you do realize that you are responsible for the Kenyan population. As you people are in charge of SHA, you are also in charge of supervising these local hospitals, county hospitals. You're their supervisor. Why are they failing? You guys have money. How come they don't have money? You have $1 billion to spend on TikTok for advertisement. Why don't you have $1 billion to pay them?
Partly because payment of salaries, employment, which are issues in health and hospitals, to the county.
So we have healthcare workers who are working, can't feed their children, can't pay their rent, can't do anything. But that is not a priority to make sure that they can work at their best and be provided for the best. People who we trust our lives with. We're not trusting them with our investments, our lives, our children. Y'all don't think that's a priority you need to correct, but you think that doing propaganda and PR for $1 billion Kenya shillings on TikTok is more worthy than saving human lives.
The Constitution provides that we
by the Constitution. This is the thing. The Constitution is up to interpretation. That's why people still go back to court and let the judges and lawyers interpret. I don't care about the Constitution. I'm talking about your mother's life, your life, the life of my grandmother, the life of my mother, the life of my children are in the hands of someone who can't even feed their children, but yet I'm trusting them to make sure my child makes it out alive. How come human life is not priority, but propaganda and PR on TikTok is priority?
You're having a double argument, unfortunately. And
no, I'm not having a double argument. What I'm trying to show you is that you, as a government representative, since you've come here to present them, you as a government, you guys don't have your priorities right. You are so busy of packaging yourself like a Mercedes-Benz, like a business, that protecting the life of the very people you depend on to pay taxes. The very people you depend on to even have that government, for you to even have that job, you depend on these people's lives. Why are you not protecting their lives? But yet, you are more interested in repackaging your failed ideas, repackaging and spending $1 billion Kenya shillings, but not $1 billion Kenya shillings to make sure the nurses and doctors can afford their housing.
Do you think I should talk now, or you want to continue? Because I know I'm
keep on talking.
Yeah, I mean, you have to give me opportunity to talk then, unless you give me that chance.
I'm muting for 10 minutes. Nani? I'm muting for 10 minutes.
No, I don't even need 10 minutes. You raised only one issue about our priority. It is the priority of government to perform and publicize what it is doing, and that is in the Constitution. In fact, it is so primarily in the Constitution that it is in 3 distinct articles. And then it also provides for devolution and places healthcare under devolution. Government works on policy, and that is where SHA falls. Then in terms of operation of healthcare, that falls directly under county governments. So if Siaya Referral Hospital does not have nurses paid for, that is a county issue. And that is why Kenyan people gifted themselves devolution so that they are able to hold accountable the different levels of leadership. You therefore cannot claim that then national government is not working because nurses are not paid at Siaya Referral Hospital. That is a county issue that needs to be addressed at county issue. And while that is being addressed, the government ensures that patients who go to Siaya Hospital are treated and get the services that are required. And that is happening. No one has said Siaya Hospital is shut down, that there are no patients being treated. In fact, I just opened up Siaya Hospital for today to see whether there are patients who are treated there. And I can clearly see they already have 14 patients admitted there. So Siaya Hospital is operational. And there is something going on. As in terms of their arrangements of medical workers and the county governments, that's a county-specific issue. I cannot speak for Siaya County. I don't even know what happens at the county government of Siaya on a daily basis. But I can speak for executives. The executive government has no view about salaries and HR issues at Siaya Hospital. So it would be unfair to put that on us to get it as an answer.
Okay. Do the people of Siaya County vote for the president?
Absolutely.
Do they pay taxes?
There is someone sleeping here. Who is sleeping?
Don't talk about me and mute. Val, I'm a garish.
No, okay.
Okay, check Val. Okay, so they vote for the president. They pay taxes on national and county levels. So if my county goes wrong and is not offering what they're supposed to offer, and they're not doing their job, who is supervising the county? Who supervises the county?
Then the law provides if that is not working, then the county, the residents of Siaya County will raise signatures and ask for dissolution of Siaya County. Then the
who are they taking the signatures to?
Please let me finish. So they collect the signatures. Those signatures, once they are collected for dissolution, they take it to Parliament. Then the National Parliament forwards it to the President, who then who sets up a tribunal for the dissolution of the county government. That is what the Kenyan people voted for to be their constitution.
Okay, if I can say something. So if something is going wrong on the county, they collect signatures and they bring it to the Parliament. So that means because you guys are the supervisors, you guys are the big dogs, and then you guys will dissolve the county if it's not working. What about just being preemptive in the beginning and making sure that you supervise these hospitals and they provide the service and quality and the payment for these people? So that we never get to where we're collecting signatures and dissolving the whole thing when you can fix it before. Prevention is better than cure. If you guys know that prevention is better and SHA has prevention, whatever, why are you not preventing this chaos from happening in the beginning? Why do you have to wait until you bring down the whole county?
How do we handle Siaya County HR?
It's not about Siaya County, it's about all the counties. This was just an example.
Yeah, I'm
not focusing on Siaya. Think about a county in Nairobi.
Okay. How do we handle Nairobi County issues? How do we handle Nairobi County HR issues as national government? Only using the law.
You tell me, you're in the government, I'm not.
Yeah. And that's what I'm telling you. And you see, we've handled this before. We dissolved. There was a introduction of an arrangement under Governor Sonko. I forget what it was called, but there was an arrangement that brought in through the executive as an interim thing. But that also came from the people. The process, there is no other process under the laws of Kenya that the executive can get into the HR issues of any county.
Mr. Ejembe, you're not understanding me. You keep telling me that you guys are not involved, but yet when they collect signatures, they bring it to you. Iki tumesema ya Sonko, it was something that the executive, which means you guys who are sitting at the big table eating big, are the ones who helped Sonko with that, and then it went and fell off. You guys are involved. Why do you want to keep yourself out of it and you're just involved at the punishment level, yet you're not preventing these things going wrong? Because by the time these things go wrong, I'm sure lives have been lost.
For us to be able to do that, we have to change we have to do a referendum, do a constitution. For us to be able to interfere with HR issues, if you are able to collect 1 million signatures, we go to a referendum, we correct how the executive can be able to get it, we will do it. But the people of Kenya say we don't want the executive to be doing that for us. We want us to decide when that comes in. You're now telling me how the law should be, not how the law is.
No, I'm not telling you how it should be. I'm asking you to do with counties, yet these people vote on the presidential campaigns, yet these people pay taxes to the national or the executive, whatever you're going to call it, executive branch, yet these counties get funded with money that come from the executive, the money that comes in from if America was to give you guys money, like when it was US aid, it wasn't going straight to the counties, it was coming to you guys and you guys distribute it. I love how you guys want to take the shines, yet you don't want to be held responsible for anything going wrong. You are the supervisors. You guys are the head of the country. You are responsible for even a death of a child in Kiambu due to a medical issue that went wrong. You are responsible to investigate that.
Absolutely.
You're the head of the country. You guys own the government.
Absolutely.
How come you keep trying to pull yourself out of issues? Oh yeah, the executive government helped with this, but no, we're not responsible for that. You're responsible.
Because that's the law. As we speak today, Kiambu County doctors have been on strike for 100 days. What do you want us to do as national government? They are
what do? You are the ones who get all the money from other governments to fund healthcare. What do you do? What do you think this money is supposed to do, Mr. Dennis?
No, absolutely not. I mean, you
guys will never be held responsible, right?
Absolutely. For doctors, for HR issues in counties? Absolutely not. That's why you elected.
But you just told us how Governor Sonko worked with the executive, which is you guys, to do this medical thing that didn't work out, and then you guys just went into instead of fixing the problems at the beginning. You are still the supervisors of the country, of the republic.
You're simply not getting the facts right. One, Nairobi County, why there was an arrangement with the executive, it was because Nairobi County asked for it. There is no way the executive government gets in without the county asking for it.
But that means that you guys, so you found ways to remove yourself from responsibilities when it fails, but you're there to enact it. You're there to enact SHA that's supposed to work in Sierra County, and it's an example, it's just a county, I'm just mentioning because that's what's in the news. But you're not responsible for the failures, not holding people accountable, not doing even your supervision work, because you know the money is coming mostly from you and it gets distributed down. Okay, this is my last word I'm going to say. If I were you and I wanted to package PR, I would package teaching the normal Mwananchi, like Mama Mboga, how the laws work and where you guys are responsible and not responsible, so they know who to blame, and so that our sons and brothers stop getting shot in daylight. When you are telling me that everybody gets captured, every crime gets captured, yet when our brothers bleed during all that, whatever, while they're fighting for their rights, apparently you guys never see anything. You can't capture anything. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, I need, however, to clarify. The laws is not what we want them to be. It is what the people of Kenya voted to be. And you can only implement, we cannot implement the law as it should be. We can only implement the law as it is, unfortunately. You're asking us to take care of how people are paid salaries at the counties. Our executive cannot do that. That's the constitution. The constitution constrains what the executive can do. So it's unfortunate, but it's a classic activist style. Try and go for government on abroad, but when government tells you this is not our role, you try and say no. Executive must do this. You're the supervisors. Yet you voted out dictatorship and introduced democracy. You know you cannot choose democracy and expect dictatorship for governance.
Can I respond?
Yes, please.
Okay, so just taken the conversion, but at least I can pick up a few things. I'm glad that I'm speaking to TW, to the watchdog, and Dennis Itumbi is here. Okay, when Dennis Itumbi, when you speak about we, you mean executive, right?
Yeah.
But if it is true that maybe the executive is working, why should even now governors strike? That they are complaining that money has not been released in the first place. When you are talking about you should not even care as the executive, when you are saying you don't even care how much maybe a nurse is being paid or a doctor is being paid. I think this thing was just devolved. There is nowhere where we have a boundary that a president cannot intervene a certain county when there is. So does it mean that when one county is burning, a president should not intervene because that's a county government issue? Is that what you mean?
It depends on what it is. I mean, there are national issues in counties. But if you're saying about payment of an accountant in a county, how does the president?
What if the payment relates to the county complaining that the money has not been released to them?
All money to counties are up to date.
Yes, but I know you, Tumbi, I know right now maybe you're on their level of the executive and you have to protect them and everything. But know very well that we down here, you know very well that we down here, that we are not in the executive level. We know what is on the ground and we experience all the sufferings. When there are no drugs in the hospital, as much as it is a county government, it's okay. You as it when you have seen maybe many people are complaining about the doctors and nursing health. Why can't you even champion for maybe the doctors if the governors cannot even control the doctors and the nurses? Why can't it be brought back to the national level?
The constitution. Change the constitution.
It can be amended. These are the bills. It's just being sent to the balance of the amendments and everything, and it goes through the process and it's taken back to the national. If we can see, for example, there are maybe some other things we are delegating back to the governors. And you can see even from the previous, even the of the Senate, we can see governors are messing up. If we have seen maybe there are some things that they cannot really, because for example, a governor is a politician. I always say that these, for example, governorship roles, maybe the constitution should have stated that we give them to professionals. You cannot give someone
who is maybe has done maybe this is a guy who has maybe never go maybe has just a degree. I'm saying just a degree. Then you give him to manage all doctors, all engineers, all everything in one county, and then you are the president there. You want to look for them. You just want to watch so that they mess up. And this is one country you have all the responsibility. So if you see something is not working, why can't we then take it back? Because it is working at the county level. Because maybe this person who is there cannot even manage doctors. We know doctors. There's no doctor who doesn't have a degree. But there are governors maybe who maybe just work their way out and they have a degree in something. And now he wants to control a whole doctor department, a whole teachers, junior school and everything department, a whole engineers roads department. How do you expect this guy who maybe bought a degree to control all this? When previously we knew very well doctors were just waiting for their salaries. Maybe we had the teacher strikes and everything, but we didn't have every now and again this county has a nurse strike, doctor strike. This is a matter of health. This is not a matter to wait for. A doctor strike in a day, how many lives are we losing? Do you think so that guy has to, does he have one testis or does he have one leg? If the same guy, the same as you, who has 2 ears, has 2 legs, he has a right to live. His children has a right to live. The wife has a right to live. But it's only that he has not got that privilege as you.
So can I respond?
In short, we are saying, as much as we are in the higher level like you, but there are just things like, unafikiria tu bro, no. Like this thing, as much as it is a governance level and the county level and the constitutional level, but the president can intervene. The president is the control of this country. We know the president controls the parliament. If he can control the parliament, he can control both the legislature and the judiciary. Why not talk to a certain government saying, no, what is the problem? Why are your doctors, why are your nurses on strike? People are dying in your country. So should the president laugh because that is not his role? It is a governor's issue. When it is in his country which is losing.
Okay, so you raised 2 issues. What can the president do? The president, under the constitution we granted ourselves, has no powers to interfere with HR issues at counties. There is nothing to do. However, you correctly put it that we can amend the constitution, and that's okay. If you amend the constitution, the president will use the powers you grant him in such an amendment. But what I find in this debate is that you want the president to implement stuff that does not exist in the law. You make him a dictator. It's not possible.
But you understand there are points there where they came dictators. For example, when a president says that I will give teachers 20% of the... Just listen. When a president says...
Please let me finish.
Okay, finish.
Yeah. So basically, there are two main issues here you're raising. The president can do what you're saying, but he has done that before. He's been taken to court. The decisions have been reverted. We have gone back many years back because those decisions have been found unconstitutional. We have clapped along the way. When the president obeys the law as it is, we are now saying no. Let the president go beyond what the law provides because he's all powerful. Yet that power we are talking about is not provided for in the constitution. Secondly, you say there's a doctor strike as we speak now in Kiambu for 100 days. What does the president do with people whose contract is with the county government? On that, on the issue that the president would want 100% efficiency, but the constitution only gives the executive power on referral hospitals, Kenyatta, Moi Referral Hospital, Moi Referral and Teaching Hospital, KUTRH. Those are the only hospitals. If doctors go on strike, the president, the executive, can have a direct interference and act upon. All the other hospitals are based in counties. In fact, transfer of money is done to the county governments to handle stuff there because they are the contractual agents at the county level. Absolutely. And if we want to change that, remember, teachers managed to have the Teacher Service Commission remain national. But doctors, during the constitutional vote in 2010, agreed for complete, and the Kenyan people agreed that we devolve it completely. So the president has absolutely no say. Every county has used unique arrangement with doctors and nurses. That is why not all doctors in Kenya, it's specifically 1 or 2 counties. So it is not a question of national government, it's a question of how the counties deal with their contract with the medical workers at the county level.
So what's the point of voting for a president who can't help me if I'm in Kiambu? I can just die like, my child can die like 100 other children.
That's the point.
Why do you ask for our votes when you can't do nothing for us?
Okaro, you should ask him, how can a president come with his own laws where he brings all teachers in the whole country instead of bringing maybe one person from maybe the university sector, primary sector, maybe secondary
like representatives
to represent all these guys. Because you want to bring my principal from the village to come and collect maybe 10,000. Then
10,000 and a soda.
What's even the need of leadership when the next day will the president bring all borders from all villages? Or the next day will the president bring all nurses from all villages? Or will the next day president will bring all maybe engineers from all, I'm an engineer in the first place. Will the president call us engineers to come and air all our grievances? Or will the president call EBK, the Engineering Board of Kenya, to come and voice our need?
Yes, he will.
The president is calling all teachers, all principals from
Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
When we have the leaders to present, of which the leaders have already presented their own concerns. But because he wants to manipulate all these teachers, instead of talking to the leaders, he brings all the teachers who doesn't even know, maybe some even principals, only come to Nairobi when there's a conference. Otherwise, there's no business in Nairobi. Then you come and wink all these guys. And then you want to tell that you agreed with them. Does it, if I can ask you, can you really say that it is a must for all teachers to come 10,000 in Nairobi for a CBA to be signed?
But they were not signing a CBA. The 10,000 teachers
what were you doing with it to over 10,000 teachers from principals from all over the country?
You know what I admire about you is that you want to speak, you want to ask questions, you don't want answers, you want to continue speaking. So,
Mr. Dennis, we don't want your answers. We want you to write down our problem. Those questions he's giving you, write them down, especially if you want to be part of the executive for a long time. Just be smart. Listen to our issues, write down the questions we have, go present it to your boss.
No, I mean, some things
we don't want you to rebuttal with us. We want to tell you our problems. This is the first time I've seen someone from the executive, even come to TikTok and talk with wananchi. Stop rebuttaling us and telling us about the constitution. Sasa ukienda kuongea na mama wanauza omena, utaweza kumwambia constitution, alikuwa anatembea kuona constitution na hata mzazi wake alikuwa na pesa ya kulipa school fees.
Mama may now speak to us differently.
We don't want to rebuttal. Write down our issues, represent them to both. Since you don't know who has the power for what, and you don't know the reason why we keep voting for presidency, who apparently have no power whatsoever. Why are we voting for you? Why are we paying taxes at national level, yet our tax money can't even help pay for healthcare that we need? So you listen and write down questions. We don't want your rebuttal.
And personally, what he doesn't know, for example, me right now, I support maybe the
I'm not here just to...
But sometimes not even have a point.
To run a PR. No, you're going to listen to our issues. Because we voted for where you're sitting now and having that job. You work for us. We don't work for you guys. That's the mistake you keep getting. Just because you're Mheshimiwa in Kenya does not mean you people work. We don't work for you. You work for us. And our interests and our human rights. We are your bosses. We are the voters. You work for us. So unless you are here to listen and take our problems ahead, mtoka hapa na hizo pia zenyu, na hizo vitu zenyu, because 136 children died in Kiambu. What are you going to tell their parents? To come vote the president, the Shah, or we are paying TikTokers 1 billion to run our PR? That's what you're going to tell people who just lost children in Kiambu because of the strike? No, you listen and you write notes. We don't work for you. You work for us.
Absolutely, but even people who work for you have a right to answer questions when you ask them.
You have a right to write down the questions and find answers because you don't have any answers.
I do. Caleb, I have answered very many questions for the last 3 hours. You guys have just joined about 30 minutes ago.
These are the real issues. The real issues that.
Yeah, but again, we can give maybe 2 minutes time to explain.
Yes, let him explain. Let him explain.
It will make sense.
But let him not tell us. I'm just giving an example.
Ask a question.
It could be saying that is using the please, a minute, please. It could be saying that is using the concept that the president cannot maybe intervene into the local hospitals and everything. Level 3 can only referral hospital and can and everything. I'm also asking, how can the president decide that I will give teachers 20% of housing? Like how? From which constitution?
Let me explain to you that teachers contribute that.
You cannot intervene people dying. Instead of giving people, there are people dying. Then you can intervene on people giving people houses when you cannot intervene on people dying.
Okay. Let me know when I can answer because it gets...
You can proceed.
Yeah, teachers contribute 13% of the housing levy. It is only fair that out of their contribution, they get reserved for all the houses that they contribute to. Have you take time and read the housing regulations and you learn that
20% is equal to 20%?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Dennis, I respect you. I'm sorry I talk so harsh. But you keep answering us like university students, maybe because we're talking like that. But we're not the ones suffering. I want you to answer us like Mama anauza umena, Mama anauza chips kwa barabara. They haven't read the Constitution. Give them an answer that's practical and they can use instead of you going Constitution article, da 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 da. No, give us real people, real life solutions. Talk to us as a human being. Stop talking like a computer.
Okay, stop playing in the light.
Yeah. So I have absolutely no problem answer. You see, I cannot answer you as Mama Boga when you phrase your questions as a learned person. If you frame your question as a person who understands it.
For the country, people are not asking for me. Believe me, I don't need you guys. I'm just asking for them, but give answers to them, not to me.
Absolutely. So to them, I will give the answers. I meet them every day. I interact with them every day. So to them, I give the answers that they need.
Okay, let's hear the answers you give them.
I have not had a question that I need to answer.
Mr. Dennis.
Yes, sir.
I come from Nandi. I wish to know this issue of the housing for teachers. I come from a remote area known as Tigray.
Yes. I know Tigray.
You know Tigray, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm a teacher. And at times we feel so... Anyway, can you maybe say something about maybe teachers in these remote areas like Tigray, like where I come, a place known as Kiptirway, where by that trust people don't know nothing? Yes, how does that maybe aid us?
What exactly? Sorry.
The housing thing.
So housing, you need to view housing on 3 primary aspects. Number one, there's a report by the UN that indicates that most of the world will be living in urban areas by 2050. So as a responsible government, you have to plan for that time when Kenyans will be living in urban areas. Where are they going to come and live? As of now, 70% of the people moving to urban areas are coming to live in slums. Now, what are slums? People don't have water, they don't have dignity, they don't have electricity. So there is already pressure now. Yet, a lot of people have not moved to urban areas. You therefore have to prepare the urban areas for that movement that is protected by 2050. And you only do that by having proper sewerage systems, proper housing, and places where amenities like, fire exchange engines, ambulances can be able to move and be able to serve people. So that's one reason for housing. Second reason for housing is that we have divided our lands to very small units, and it is threatening food security in the future. You therefore need to free the areas where areas like where you're talking from, where you say you're coming from, where food is being grown. You need to secure it now so that we are not all building houses. And when our children grow up, we are cutting for them land in the same areas. So we'll have a lot of water in the lake and we'll not have nowhere to grow our food. So that's why you need to do urban housing in the nearest towns and free the further areas to continue growing food. Finally, and most importantly, housing are about jobs. South Korea did it, Singapore did it. It is more about jobs and creation of jobs. So that then the engineers who are coming out, the masons, the electricians who are coming off our TVETs, get jobs within there. Already as we speak, the Juakali sector has 7 billion worth of contracts.
Mr. Dennis.
Let me finish, please. 7 billion worth of contracts that have been given to Juakali players to be able to supply doors, to be able to supply shelves in those affordable houses. So jobs, entrepreneurship, food security, and urbanization is the reason why housing is good.
How does someone like TWD get a job in those contracts that you guys are putting? Because we're tired of gifting him. Tell him how to get a job there.
And just to add on that, after these guys in Jengo guys, you said you given them jobs because they are currently building all these affordable housing and all sorts. Okay, after those houses are finished, what will they be doing? Now they will be jobless because the government gave them a job for a period, maybe for a year or 6 months. So that's not what you are happy for. Because
I'm talking of that grassroots teacher who is, he doesn't have nothing right now. He's dealing with the basic needs. That is food, shelter, and the clothing. And then he's contributing to a project that is being visioned in 2050 or 2050.
Mr. Simba, that is my disconnect with Mr. Dennis.
And yet,
that's my disconnect with Dennis. Their priorities are so off. What good is 2050 if I can't afford food now and I'm starving and dying with my children? What do I care about 2050? Your priorities when it comes to human rights and providing for humans who vote for you guys, who give you these jobs, is very messed up.
This Simba is speaking from a place where he has food. He's talking
from I don't have food. Unajua Nandi, you know it very well. 32% of the people out of the total 200 and something, 286 population are below poverty level. You know it very well.
No, actually, Nandi.
You told me you've come several times to Nandi.
No, Nandi.
Actually, you know the Department Hospital. I know nothing. Medication is pure. Your friend.
Simba, just a bit, Karen. Simba, you're a bit wrong.
I'm Karen.
No, I'm talking to Simba first, then I come to you, Karen. Simba, in terms of the statistics, first of all, Nandi is one of the most food secure counties in Kenya.
With the many percent.
It's actually number 6 in Kenya on food security. So Nandi is a food secure county. When you're rated higher on food security, you can actually Google there and see where Nandi is placed. Nandi is one of the most food secure counties. Yes, Karen, as Simba Googles.
Hi, Dennis. How are you doing? I've always challenged you. I mean, we've worked together in previously, but this time around, I'm going to learn. Okay. Now, you, what role are you playing here in this government? First of all, tell us, what's your role?
Okay. I'm the head of Presidential Special Projects and Creative Economy.
A presidential project and creative economy.
Like
exactly.
There are people here who are not that dedicated. Tell them it's simple.
What project?
What project?
Thank you, my love. Thank you, Carol.
Okay, let me go to that. So number 1, under the first aspect of Presidential Special Projects, there is national holidays, which I chair, and therefore make them run official.
Oh, Mambo ya Mashujaa. So that's what you do.
So you're an event planner. You're an event planner with exciting. The event planner. Nice. They sent us a
balloons and all that.
You have to allow me to finish, then you can
now. Sorry. Okay, yeah. Oh, Carol, okay, stand down. Okay.
Then I don't actually even plan those events. So what I do is I chair a committee that runs the themes for each national holiday and the things that that's number 1. Number 2, under creative economic coordination, I oversee what is done in music in terms of collection, in terms of empowerment of artists and content creators, film industry, coordination of the various aspects being done, packaging Kenya as a destination for both filmmakers. This year we've been fortunate to be able to show before 3 major movies done in Kenya that have brought in about in at about Kenya shillings over 60 billion. So far, there are 2 more to go before the year ends. Then there is a fashion, which also falls under creative economy, and also fits in the national communication team. So that's what I do.
I like that you brought it down to this level. What kind of degree, if Toothwatch wanted to pursue the same career as you, what kind of degree does he need to have, and what kind of background does he need to have?
Right, because I'm the one who asked the question. Let me ask the question. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, I asked you what you do, and that's okay. So, more or less, you're an event planner. So you bring people together. So people who in the arts industry. So you more or less you create a forum where you combine all the people who in the arts industry. Yeah. Did I get it wrong?
Absolutely, but go on. I mean, we can stay here for a little while on that, but yes, go on.
No, it's fine. No, tunaendelea tu, it's fine. So it's okay. All right. So that's what I wanted to find out, that this is what you do. You as Dennis Itumbi, in this forum, not even in this forum, also in our, we notice you, I'm in Kenya, I'm in Nairobi. I want to know that Dennis Itumbi is one person who connects the arts. Whatever you do in the arts industry, he connects you, and it is okay and it's fine. Okay. Now we go to politics, right? Dennis Itumbi, before you got to the arts industry, you're one formidable person. And before you go, back then, when you got to this politics, you were once a hacker, and that's how you're noticed. You hacked on that time, related to during the, after, what happened in our country back then. You worked for someone, and that's what happened. That's how you're noticed, right? And that's how you built yourself. And it's okay. We build ourselves, in whatever forum. Right now, you, as Dennis Itumbi, whatever is happening in this country, whatever is happening right now, do you think,
it is a right.
I don't even know what to ask.
Like from the back of your mind, what is happening?
I can comment maybe Itumbi in one thing. Itumbi, there's a program, the one you are doing right now with Ngong, across the Rift Valley, the other side. Hiyo nayo inaweza kupea hapo pongezi kidogo. But the real issue is the extrajudicial killing. Wewe ni youth mwenzetu. To be honest, right now, hata hatufai kuongea Kiingereza mingi. We are supposed to be having a conversation on how maybe not to reduce but to stop. Unaona? Right now, ukiona most of the youths or even these people on TikTok, they are graduates, they are scholars, but they are trying to evade you guys. If you see in the past series of events whereby no politician, the movements are very okay, but the moment wanasema mheshimiwa so and so ameingia, it gets dirty. So mnafaa mjue ni wapi mnafail. Why are we running away from you guys? Nyinyi mandugu zetu, why are we running? Mbona mnatuua? Mbona
Okay, sawa. Niko swali nataka kuuliza Deno Kuna vacancy ilikuwa announced last year ya drivers for 2024 And when you apply walikuwa shortlisted na wakafanya interview last year. Now, so people were waiting for the results for the announcement hizo vacancies But this month wamepata news kwamba hizo vacancies zimekuwa hizo nini imekuwa cancelled. Just because some people did not apply and some regions were not considered. So nauliza, if people did not apply or take note hiyo vacancy apply by that time, why does the government have to cancel an interview that was done na imekuwa genuine but because some people were not some region yenye sasa kumention hapa jina, they were not considered ama hawaku apply, watu wengine waumie juu yao.
Okay, so I must admit I don't know about that particular. Please write to me on some detail on just write special.projects@president.go.ke. Write to me some detail, then I find out what it is.
I will give you it was a vacancy number vacancy number 1.
Please, I request. I don't have a pen by me. Please, I request you. Please send me that. Then I'll follow up. Please.
Come again with the email.
Special.projects.
Okay.
@president.go.ke.
So I will read, but make sure vitu zingine unafanya government fail vitu kama hizo, kwa mtu amechukua time yake kwa apply since last year, ameenda interview, amekuwa shortlisted, anao akigojea results, anaambiwa imekuwa cancelled. Just because imefika wakati election, some politicians want to use it, and hiyo time wako kuchukua waambie watu wa apply. Now because imekaribia time election, they want to use this opportunity now. It is very hard, it is very painful, I know, for some youth when wametumia time yote na kutumia pesa, but now politicians, they want to use that in a public service. Sasa kufanya siasa is very inaumiza sana, I know.
Umekusikia? Nikupatie detail au follow up na nimekusikia.
Okay, that's something.
Mr. Dennis, I just want to apologize to you because I feel like if you would have told us what you do in your position, we shouldn't be asking you about healthcare and counties and stuff like that, because you are the PR person. You're the person who puts makeup on the government and make it look attractive and give them filters so they can look attractive. Your job is not to answer about whatever. So next time, I want you to go to Malisafi's platform and answer a few questions, because there you will meet local wananchis who have issues, and I'm sure Malisafi has issues. Go there and answer their questions, but bring us the person who's in charge of healthcare, bring us the person who's in charge of voters, bring us the person who knows who is responsible for this job, so that we can question them. Whether you make up artists for government, you will never have answers for our questions.
Fair enough. I think I've spent about 2 hours answering questions.
Controls everything underground.
Yeah, I've sat in most of those meetings. I understand very many of those things and where they come from. I'll continue answering broadly what I need to answer. What I don't know, I have admitted here for 2 hours. There are some things like the land in Kasarani and the rest of it, I didn't have answers. I've admitted I'll get the answers, but there is no question that I've been asked here that is off my range.
Hamna maswali?
Watchdog, I will have to leave. It's 4 a.m. I have to be working at around 8. I need to catch some nap. Thank you very much for engaging. God bless you and keep you all.
Yes.
After finish, you a little.
Thank you. Alafu Mr. Itumbi.
Yes, sir.
Before you go, I'll urge you also to connect so that you can get some of these guys here and they have a conversation. Like, I would really have to have more comment here.
It will be.
Yes.
Tunakuwa na platform pia ya politics. Sana maybe from 7 a.m. in the morning, Kenyan time, to around 9.
Yeah. Yours ni time ya kazi kabisa.
Time ya kazi.
Time ya kazi. Saa zingine from 10:30 ya jioni mpaka around 12.
Ya jioni ni sawa.
Yeah, but sasa inakuanga fire. Sijui kama utakuwa na kalamu sana kitabu hicho.
I don't fear any conversation as long as we are listening to each other. You know, the problem is if we are all shouting, it's impossible to have a conversation. But if the conversation is people actually engaging, saying
most of the time, people shout because of their disappointment and frustrations. To be honest,
it doesn't matter how you
shout about your interests. That is how TikTok runs. So if you guys are gonna come to this platform, catch up with the arguments and be fast too, because you want to invest 1 billion Kenya shillings to run your PR.
Mr. Itumbi.
And we will do that.
Mr. Itumbi.
The money to tell our story.
Mr. Itumbi.
I've told you, US is investing to tell their story. South Africa is investing to tell their story. We will invest to tell our story. No question about it.
Mr.
I'm
Itumbi.
never talking to you and saying, I will come to the platform. If the platform,
Mr. Itumbi.
people speak, and people can speak whatever they want to say, they can say one term, they can say whatever they want to say. As long as they allow us to speak, we will come to the platforms. But if it is a one-way shout platform, I will not be there. I will also, I don't have to be there.
Mr. Itumbi. I will control.
Teachers, you don't know about people leaving. You just know the constitution and what you're told to say. I want whoever is in charge of healthcare to come answer these Kiambu women who have 136 children dead. Not you, not the makeup artist.
It's okay. No problem. Yeah, whether you're there or not, I'll be in these platforms and I will speak my mind. No problem.
Mr. Itumbi.
I don't matter what you think about me, but I'll be here to speak about government and I'll speak.
So Itumbi, what you should know that some of us are even pro-government, but we even lack some answers. How to even convince our fellows that this government is working. Not that we are against the government. Personally, I'm not against the government. Actually, I just want the government, like I don't want more demonstrations, I don't want all about, it's all about 2 term and 1 term. I just want us to fake it to 2027. But can we even have that answer to tell our fellows so that they can wait for that 2027?
I am willing to have that discussion. I am willing to hear. I'm willing to fill those questions. And I told when we started this, I said I'm even willing to take the UDA manifesto vis-a-vis what has been done and what has not been done on a factual level. That conversation on facts, I am willing to have any time. In fact, I'm even willing to have it one-on-one. If you're in Nairobi, look for me. I'm willing to have it one-on-one.
Yes, okay, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Alafu they know.
To be honest, what this is saying, Mr. Itumbi, ni ukweli.
They know.
Unaona, most of us, to be honest, mtu kama mimi ni mtu wa hii. But at times, you lack once on even to tell people at times that mtu anakuambia like hii serikali hii mna support iko na nini. I want to once. Yeah, mimi ni mtu ya tuta ambaye ndio ukiniona kama na mimi because sasa lazima tunasema ni start here look lakini haisiki tena bwana.
Email kwa your email, I'm sending you what government has done point by point, a document, read it, then let's criticize.
Yeah, so penye I come from Nandi. Penye watu wanakata majani chai, tunangoa saa hizi. Alafu mnaenda mnatuambia mnatuletea kahawa tena. You know, mnatujengea nyumba. Mimi natoka penye mawe iko nusu mawe nyumba zimekaa hivi. We don't need houses right now over there.
They know.
I don't know what niambia 2025 tama niende Eldoret.
Excuse me. They know.
The housing debate we need to have at a more sober level, and I invite you for us to have one-on-one conversation.
They know.
Person in charge of housing.
No, I'm not speaking to you. I'm asking you to ongea mambo ya housing. I'll show you.
For the grassroots region, kama hata Bomet
atuambie 50 only 50,000 ghost students wanapokea hizo pesa.
Yeah, kuna ile hata Bomet high school inaiko imepokea pesa students.
50,000 yo
Hebu niruhusu Itumbi aende.
There will be action on that. That is the most. That which is very unfair. Those ones will be acted upon.
Sometimes you ask yourself, why Litein high school? I'm not from Kericho like, but I'm sure Ruto knows what happened to Litein. But he cannot intervene. Parents are being asked to give 137. When police could not intervene for a whole night. Just imagine students, these are high school students, riding on a car all night.
Guys.
Where were police? Where were chief?
Guys, just listen.
Where were all these people?
Just listen for a minute.
And now you want to ask for 137,000. It means someone who had head and hand in this and want to take advantage of this.
Good night. Thank you.
Guys, just.
Good night. Don't hack us.
They know.
This is just how TikTok is.
They know.
Usituhack, mimi sikufuati.
Wewe.
Utahack account yangu.
They know.
Yes.
Check in a ring light. They know like a ring light, yeah? Josiah. Na ring light tu. Anasikia kweli? Sikia hapa. Deno. To organize more conversation, I would love to host the president. Sawa, kana atanunua. Nakwambia
It's not personal. I was just fighting for human rights.
So good night, sir. Thank you so much.
If my thumb gets hurt, watu wa kwetu waone Subaru kipita hapo, it's your fault. Jua watu hawajui jokes na hawajui hizi arguments zetu za TikTok. He probably takes it personally, especially me calling him a makeup artist for the government.
Grace Njoki.
As long as unaona Kiingereza mingi hapa na akili mingi hapa.
Grace Njoki, where are you?
Mr. Bratayolo, obviously you don't know me.
Guys, how many of you remember Grace Njoki? Me, I do remember her. Do you remember this lady? Nyinyi wa Kenya.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? I'm really sorry. He just left.
Why would I be scared? I'm joking that I'm scared. Do you know me, Okaro? When have I ever been scared? What the fuck are you talking about?
Okaro na kupiga mateke.
I really wished I could have asked him why they sent me to be arrested. When I was just saying the truth.
Guys, you don't remember this lady? She was arrested because she went to complain that she isn't working and there was a lady with a child and then there were children. You don't remember her?
No, I have that story, but I didn't know the person.
I think I have
I
it somewhere.
didn't claim. It was the truth. And even when the Baraza went, he still found it wasn't working. The scenario was patients
Let's just be the truth. Sir, it's not working. We know very well that who are maybe pro-government. There are many people calling you to get money when they have shot. They are telling you they have been told to basically, I don't know, 6 months deposit, it is 1 year, so that the shark can start working. Why should you do that?
Why are they trying to package their 2050 stuff when people here on TikTok are constantly asking for food and diapers? Why do we care about 2050? We got kids right now.
Truth Watchdog, let me give you a few facts so that you can reason with other people about the true fact of here.
Mm-hmm.
2 people, a husband and a wife, are being deducted. When with the previous NHIF, you had 2 covers. Each person was being covered 500. That made a pool 1M. Now, Sha, you're being combined, your husband and a wife, you're being told you're being given 400,000. So basically, they've taken away 600,000.
Mm-hmm.
That is what is happening. Then, what is the second thing is that their maximum is 400. When you have, let's say, a cancer patient, there's something they're calling that covers 150. But you have to write a letter. They have to determine, like this person who's writing down there that it took 100,000 for their chemo. Yes, I am not arguing with that it is paid if you request for it. But for those people, they have categories of how they're going to release the 150,000. The previous, I want to repeat this, so I think the catch is that when you're 2 contributors, it is not individual, you're not taken as an individual contributor. They've changed to be calling it per household. per household. So the husband and the wife are given one, yet they are two. That is where the catch is. That the two contributors are combined, so they are taking away a clean 600,000. It has been removed from the previous NHIF deduction. That is where my beef is. I have a cancer patient. When I went to have my PET scan approved, I was told that I have finished my 400,000. I have paid until November, and my husband has paid until 2028. We've been told to wait, that we cannot access our cover. When the month, like me, I started paying in November last year. So it will be renewed in November of this year. But with the previous NHIF, when you top up, like now that we've paid until 2028, you could continue using it. This time, they are not allowing you to continue. You pause, you wait until the day you started paying. Our SHA is not like the previous NHIF, whereby the cover would start in June. This one, they have decided the month you start paying is when your cover starts working. So mine will be renewed every November. If you started in paying in March, yours will be renewed in March. If you started in paying in February, yours will be renewed in February. It was not like the NHIF. So, me, I am not against, and I want to repeat to the watchdog. Tell them this lady is not against. What I am asking for is why they have decided to join the two people who are contributing to one cover, despite both of you contributing.
Okay, so Grace, let me get this right. If I was single and I wasn't married to my husband, I would get the whole 600 or whatever, 550,000 or whatever it is. But if I'm married, we all get only one payment of 500,000, not two.
Yes.
So if I still have to go on with chemo and the 500,000 has run out, so we have to choose who is going to live between my husband and me.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh.
So me, I have,
Okay, so
I have
one of us
sold,
have to die. Okay.
exactly. So me, I have sold my piece of land. My husband is a cancer survivor. From 2018, we have been using NHIF. We were using 500, and then when his cover gets finished, he comes to my cover. So we were very comfortable. But when I went to that KU to have his PET scan done, I was told that you have finished your money because they paid for my. You remember I was going for treatment. I had the surgery done. We finished our money. And he's on chemo. So we've had to sell property for him to continue his treatment. So that is where we are. I am not saying it is not working. What I am saying, it is the system, the way they have changed. It is painful. Truth, let me tell you something else. The dialysis patients. NHIF was not giving them limits of how many clinics they would have done the dialysis. With the new SHA, you're being covered only 2. With NHIF, there's some people who do 3. So, if you have a third one, you have to go back to your pocket. And our dialysis is about 10,000 shillings. How many people can afford that? To pay 10,000 every week? So people out there are dying. Because every week I have to look for 10,000 to have a dialysis done. So in some hospitals it is working, in other hospitals it is working. It is a matter of divide and rule. That is what I know. So when I say it is not working, for another person it will pay. So they have chosen which hospitals it is paying fully, and the other hospitals it is not paying. That is what is on the ground. And that's like now some people keep asking me questions which I cannot answer. I have a friend the other day, she was told to pay 48,000 for a year. There are people who, another one I met is paying 12,000 per month because they're working with an NGO. Yet the initial cover they were paying 2,000. So it has been topped up with 10,000. It is real on the ground that a lot of money is being collected. Let them give us the services. Me, my only problem is let them stop giving us per household. Let them give us per contribution. Because we are contributing individually, just like NHF was doing. Thank you.
Okay. For those who are asking who is this lady, if you don't remember Njoki, let me remind you. You know the good thing, I always have my videos here. They are always ready. I posted about her, by the way. This is Njoki, for those who don't remember this lady. That is her. Now I think you have the picture of who is talking.
Alpha, it doesn't depend on what you have put when you're registering. That is not true. The cover is for everyone. What depends on how much you're paying, yes, it depends on what you have put registering. When you see this, oh, by the way, if you look backward, there's this gentleman who is sitting, that one who's touching that lady. This gentleman, when I was in Kenyatta, this is an officer from Kenyatta. This one.
Which one?
Was there. You see this guy who's sitting there? No, this one who's seated. The sitting.
This one?
This one, yes. Yes, that guy is from Kenyatta. I met him in Kenyatta when I was going for my MRI. He is the one who made me get arrested. He is the one who called them and told them I'm there. This is another person who this one. When I met him there, I even asked him, what are you doing here? This is the time I was going for my admission. This time I was going for treatment. I was going for surgery. I was dragged like a dog. My leg, even I'm not able to walk until now. After the surgery, I still have not recovered fully. So this gentleman is the one who told these people I'm there. You see, he's talking to... I even asked him, what are you doing here? He works in Kenyatta. So I didn't even finish 10 minutes in that reception before they walked in. This gentleman. So he is the one who told on me. There you are.
Wakenya kutokana na mashtaki, huyu ndo mpeanaji.
Kusema unasema haraka sana.
Snitch.
There's no way I'm safe. I still don't feel safe. I still don't feel safe even when and they told me, we know your house, we know where. If we want to get you, we shall get you anytime. So I live under fear. And I decided I will talk what is the truth about it. So whoever will listen, whoever wants to arrest me, I'm ready. But it is the truth. The way they have put it, it is not serving the people with cancer, the people with kidney issues. I am not against the government. Let them make it work properly to treat the patients. There I am being drugged. And don't forget, I have heart issues. Nilirudi kuongezwa madawa. Anaona hata sasa hivi saa ngapi? I can't sleep. By 2 o'clock, I'm always awake. I'm never able to sleep the whole night. It has really traumatized me. I keep waiting to hear whether there are people on sleep. So once you get these things happen and you can never be safe and you always feel like you're being followed. You can never ever feel safe once you've been taken by those people. You always live in fear. Truth Watchdog, please ask them why they're taking 2 contributions, why they put them in one, and how they expect the cancer people and the kidney patients to survive. That is the only questions I keep asking.
Okay, wait.
Because those people with cancer patients are suffering. Previously, even now and then, okay, let me give you another example. Patients who are going to India, the 500. Right now, they are the ones who are verifying which hospital you have to go to. They are the ones who are verifying which they will decide whether to pay or not. You saw the other day that gentleman was on the telly asking that he's trying to ask many hospitals to pay and they're asking for cash upfront.
Yeah.
So even the outside countries are not accepting. They're not accepting whatever promissory note that they used to be given initially by the government, because those are the conditions the government has put, that it is for them to decide which hospital. So that means they have taken away your right to decide where to be treated. They've taken your right away, which should not be them to decide. You go to it, you are the one to choose which hospital you are comfortable. You are the one to choose where you feel your treatment should be. Now they are the ones dictating to you which hospital to go and where to be treated. So they are somebody who has a chronic disease. Another example, like wherever I live, there was a hospital we used to go with NHIF. It used to pay outpatient, it used to give us drugs, and it used to pay the lab. Right now, they are not paying anything. The only thing that has been left there is the maternity. People have gone back to their pockets to start paying. So we do not say that it is, for some hospitals, I'm not going to argue, maybe they're paying the outpatients, but for the ones that had been paying for us, has been taken away. So people in my community are suffering. They have been forced to go back to their pockets and start paying. So I think if anybody has a question, type it down. If I can clarify, I will clarify.
Thank you. Guys, follow this lady. Those questions you can ask her even in the DM, please. Just follow her. That is the big profile makeup. Alafu watu wenye mnifollow, msikuwa mnanitumia ati request na unifollow. I will not accept you up. First you have to follow.
And then because of having cancer patients, I'm doing videos of explaining what cancer is, the kind of things you need to know about your rights when you go to a med. I'll give you another example. I had a patient who was going for CT scan in Kenyatta and had gone to CT scan in Bagavi. When she went to Bagavi, she was being asked to top up some 3,000, but when she crossed the road, she went to Kenyatta, it was done totally free. And yet they're both government hospitals.
Wow.
So we cannot say it is not working. It depends on where you're going. It depends on where you will get your treatment. That is the basic of the truth. That some places it will pay, some places you'll be asked to top up. Yet you're both government institutions. Some places your whole bill will be paid, some others it will not be paid. So I will be doing things to explain about the system, and also be doing videos to explain about especially the cancer patients. Those are my passion. My mother died of cancer. My brother-in-law died of cancer last year in Kenyatta. Because of that SHA, it didn't pay, and he refused us to sell land. He refused treatment completely. So I buried somebody with cancer. So that is why when I went there, I looked like a very bitter person. It is because I know on the ground what has changed. So me, I'm not against anything. I'm just educating your rights on medical covers and what was there before and what is there right now, presently. And I would like these children who are building the Gen Z, if they can consult people like us. I've been working for 30 years as a nurse, so I know I've been in those systems for all those years, seeing what is working and what is not working. I know it pays and where it doesn't pay. Like now we are being told you can be paid for 2 MRIs, 2 CT